The midday, we'll get some tacos and some lunch with Jeff Mendel.
Oh,
we'll just do both. But let's go over to Sharif and Joseph. We'll see you too.
Notice that? Boom! Greetings and salutations, beautiful people. Welcome to the Midday Show. That's your boy Joey Options. And I'm Sharif, and I've been fighting with the taskbar. Oh, boy. Yeah. I see it. Assassino. Bang. Welcome to the Midday Show, guys. That's your boy Joey Options, and I'm Sharif, and I was muted. And I've been fighting with the taskbar today in my on my setup here. The taskbar, I've instructed the Windows taskbar, Joseph, to hide.
Hide it.
But it thinks that we're playing a game, hide and go seek. We're not. Yeah. I'm actually telling it to not show up on my screen, but it keeps showing up. Does anybody know how I can get rid of the taskbar once and for good? Because this computer just may end up destroyed and I may end up fired. Shout out to Tisha Perkins, Rob Jenkins. We got all the cream and James Price. Shout out to JG and Isaiah Brandon, Ed Miller, Brown Lightning, all class, Adam DeLuce, and dangerous Dan Gale. I know you didn't call yourself that, but that's what I'm calling you. I don't even know if you're dangerous, bro. TX Badger, and shout out to Jason Koingi and official Mr. Bones. Dollar Sales Solutions and Odd Dog. Shout out to Ronaldo Umberto G. Sean Carter's of the house, and so is Purity. Dracos is a look at the future. If he die, he die. Shout out to Anish. Mike PD Rider, Trade with Heart, full-time trader, same shirt guy, and Darth Trader, Truth Seekers joining us as well. Joey Options, good morning, my man.
Good morning. Tennis is life. Come on, man. You don't really want to start the day off like that now, do you? Come on, my friend. All right, guys, what do we got going on here today? Haven't taken a single trade yet. Personally, I've seen one good opportunity for me on Ethereum, didn't even take the stab. It was just like, you know what, let's be a little bit more patient. If this market continues to grind, then we'll look for some topping signals. But that was the bottoming signal. But I'm like, do I really want to be getting involved in Ethereum considering how weak it is? And at the lows, guys, it's down 20%. So are we in bear market territory for Ethereum? I think so. I'm keeping my eyes on some things. If we continue to get extended, then I'm going to look for a potential short move back in towards the volume-weighted average price. I do like this little consolidation that we got on the TQs here, now heading towards that key support level. Obviously want to get in at the higher end of the range, but again, if this market is going to continue to grind higher and higher, I'm not going to expect these pullbacks to be overly deep. In the crypto space, they will be a little bit deeper because that's just how it tends to be. The ebb and flow of it is a little bit more drastic and volatile, so keeping that in mind. But yeah, zero trades for me today. I'm waiting for a prime time setup there, Sharif.
All right, guys, I'm involved in DVLT over here. And we've taken a couple of prints, but it's losing the 10, well, it's coming into the 10 EMA. I should say we're long at 90.89 exactly, and it showed me 87s. The 10 EMA on the 5 is 85 pennies to be exact. This is a sub $1 name. Yeah, look, the pickings have been slim for these small cap gappers. Obviously, we had LAC yesterday, but that's not really a small cap gapper. I'm talking in the strict sense. So we'll see exactly what we can get on this one. I'll add into it at 85. It's got a good trend, higher highs, higher lows, but it just did make the first 5-minute candle to make a new low, basically, since this candle over here. Oh, actually, this hammer candle over here at 1040. It's 1104. So we'll see if trend has been broken, or whether or not we're going to maintain our price above the 10 EMA. I'm also keeping an eye on USAR up 8 and change. Yeah, we're talking about single-digit percentage winners, small cap gappers. It feels like very, very recently we're talking about quadruple digits, but that's the nature of trading, right? You trade the market that's in front of you. USAR finding some support at $18, the psychological area of support where the 10 EMA on the 5 is also showing up. I get into this if it makes a first 5-minute candle make a new high. So currently that would be above 18 and a fifth. We'll keep tabs on that. SPRC was a triple-digit winner, but it is now halted multiple times to the downside. I love when they wait for the midday to make all the noise. And then to come all the way down into about $7 area. I'm looking for 675. Say that again, Katina. Sorry, brother. The Katina says they've been making that noise all morning. Yeah. Well, you're right there too, brother, so I'm sure you were hearing all of it. So 675, guys, is where VWAP is at SPRC. It's already losing the volume weighted average price. It halted down a bunch of times. I think as well. Yeah, it did. So a couple of 3 down halts in a row now. I've drawn this trend line over here to kind of gauge trend. If it breaks above the trend line, then we'll get involved. I'm not going to try to catch it at what I think are good levels like VWAP, psychological area support. It's going to have to break trend. So that's the look right now on SPRC. Let's continue on. LASE up nicely as well. And I'm talking again nicely, high single digit, 8 2/3. Finding a little bit of support here at 4 3/4, but also still putting a very, very clear downtrend. So that doesn't interest me whatsoever until the trend changes. NUAI lost VWAP. It's got to get back above $1.18. It's up almost 24%. VERI, I mean, look at this. Now we're talking about low single digits, Joey. That's how much I'm trying to find over here, grasping at straws, so to speak. 571 VWAP area on VERI could be a pickup. OPAD also interesting one as well. Went red to green, got above that 4 1/4 to get in Greensville. Trying to hold that 4 2/3. VWAP showing $0.50. I probably punch in at the $0.50 given that it was pre-market price action resistance as well as aftermarket price action resistance from yesterday. So I do like this setup. So I'm going to put an alert at 55s to front run the 50 so I can be made aware of it ahead of time. What else? NB. NB looks good as well. Decent coming into the 10 EMA, a bit more expensive, $7 and change. Inverse hammer candle right now. Not exactly an appetizing setup to get in, but at a key area of previous resistance. I'm talking about that doji candle at 1025 that rejected off 7 1/5. So that's what I'm looking at right now, guys. Those are the bunch that we've got on. I'm involved. You can't see it on the position board quite yet, but I'm in DVLT, which is this bad boy here. This to me seems the best of the trending ones. So I'm going to add aggressively into 86 pennies, knowing that it had defended the 10 initially at 950, and then secondarily here on a triple bottom from 1035 to 1045. And if it comes back in to this level over here, I'm going to be a buyer, looking for trend to hold. So those are the ones I'm looking at, Joey. I'm sorry, guys, because they are a bit of a light bunch, right? No triple-digit winners and very few high double-digit winners. So we will keep tabs on that, Joey.
All right, cool. Good stuff there.
The
All right,
we're printing on the TQQ short.
We're
$1.70 in the money on your friend Micron as they have to go to the Katina Man screen. He's going to show the position real quick there. Assassino will do it in a second. But yeah, of course, Micron guys with a negative headline today because they're going to get a Chinese competitor, Joey. Chinese not very happy that they can't buy these HBMs from the States. So that's a look there.
All right, then. Are we going to Katina Man screen or no?
Going to your screen, brother? Assassino's working on it.
Assassino, he's working on it. All right, there it is.
Okay, go ahead. I'll talk to you.
I was going to say, there was a Micron short. I was saying, Sharif, it took us a minute to get it. Like we were, where's my mouse?
Good for you, brother.
We were losing, and eventually we took it on this break of the 21 period. But it's not that. This is what I'm a little upset about because here these futures, we had took it, and then we got stopped out almost basically at the top. And we were saying that we didn't want to reload it, so now it's coming back in. But just watch out. There's a 200 period moving average coming in there, and then we didn't make it all back, but we made back about 2/3 of our Micron loss right here. And we're still holding on, but we did break VWAP. So now we'll see if we can get back into 156 and change.
Katina, man, they look like very similar topping patterns on the triple Qs and Yun there.
I mean, check out, you want to see a bad beat as well? Look at this. There's Ethereum right here. We got stopped out right at the top, there. And then now it falls back in as well. So, yeah, I mean, there was just some topping tail candles. And Neil and I had this thing about being disciplined. And I think that if you're going to have big days, you want to not have big losing days. So you want to protect some of that profit. So although we'll lose today, we'll be red. And I don't have an ego to not tell you guys that. That's no problem. But there it is. Nice move down here for Micron. We're trying to make a little bit of it back. It's their show.
It's okay,
so get it off me. Let's go back over to the big guys.
No, and we want to thank the Katina Man, obviously, because it, to show that kind of disclosure You know, and especially when you're putting on size, brother, it does make a difference psychology-wise. So we're gonna shout out the Katina man, brother.
Yeah, man. We talk about you want to talk about full disclosure right now. We'll talk about what we got going on with ibit. Boom, you take a 10 cents loss on that one. So there's a full disclosure on that. Right away, full loss right there. So yeah, I mean we went full risk as well too on that trade to see if we can get a potential bounce in the overall in the crypto space. Not getting it. I mean I liked where I was in at the lower end of the range, was giving it to the volume weighted average price, 63.10s. Pap, you're at a dodge. You get stopped out, and the chances of it bouncing here are probably pretty high. So what do, Sharif? We get right back in as soon as the setup is potentially displayed. So yeah, that's what we got going on. Lower end of the range, right area. Potential bull flag. Downtrend is still fully intact. And so essentially what I'm thinking here is that if this closes as a hammer right at the volume weighted average price, I'm doing the exact same thing over again. We're going to pop in there, give it 10 cents, and then hopefully get a big move to the top end of the range. Liquidity grab possibility, and then maybe a second leg higher back into the top end of the downtrend there, Sharif.
All right, guys, QLGN. I'm keeping an eye on this one. Nice new breakout here. Just picked up on the scanner, coming into about 6 1/3, 640, up 51%. Okay, decent. The 5, we need to keep I need to keep my eye on this on the 5. So QLGN, we're going to put on the side chart. Okay, topping tail into 648, coming aggressively down, losing 6. Here comes 575. This thing is insane. VWAP is 575. Losing VWAP ends the trade. We're going to try it here. Missed it. It's super volatile, not letting me in. Let's see if we can get caught on a dip down. 590 buyer. We're going long here. Let's see what we can get. We got, I don't know why my position board is not showing up, guys. So we're long at 596. So let's post some here at 3s. And then we'll also post some a little bit north of that level. We'll go 11s, see if we can get a nice pop back up. QLGN 575, volume weighted average price. Any loss of VWAP ends the trade for me in as quick as it started. So we're going to throw that in there. Let's go ahead and throw that out. And so that way we'll be able to defend the level if it does come down. So here we go, coming down into the volume weighted average price. Let's keep an eye out here, see if it gets defended. There's a buyer at 80s, QLGN. It's giving it up as quickly as it got it. So a bit of trouble over here. Now we've got 87s on. If it loses the 70 penny area, we're going to have to get out. Let's throw in some orders in the 90 to see if we can catch a nice move up. But yeah, topping tail into 6.5, and it's going to lose VWAP. The 10 EMA is about 540, but I just won't DCA into 540. I'll get out and then get back in at that 540 level if VWAP doesn't hold here. So that's what I'm looking at, Joey. What do you got?
Saving up to A. David, what's going on? Gorev Amazon looks good for a long here. Let's take a look at Amazon. There goes the chip space starting to get a little pop. I was looking at, never mind. I'll look at that in a second. What's Broadcom up to? Oh, wow, okay. I like what we got going on from a daily. So yeah, this is even better. Let's freaking go, man. All right, beautiful stuff. So I've just been looking at Broadcom for a potential swing trade. What I was planning on doing is just dumping my Ethereum shares. My average is $27 on that. When I get out of that, I'll still hold the contract just for the dream. That the contract is still slightly out of the money, so we lock in the gains on the shares and then maybe rotate into something else, considering that I believe that Ethereum is essentially in a bear market at the lows, 20%. And then we got another hammer right there, so that can give us another bounce there, which I really, really like. And that's a 13% pullback on Broadcom. And this thing has been on an absolute monster move, and I'm not looking for it to go and break this previous high. That's an absolute bonus. If it just gets give me a 5-6 point bounce, then we're gonna absolutely love it all day. So yeah, eyes on Broadcom and eyes on IBIT. Can't speak today. Adair, what do you got?
OGL on watch. I'm seeing reports that Google is set to be hit with its second fine under the landmark EU rules in coming months. The EU apparently is not rushing into decisions, though, due to some trade tensions and criticisms of the EU by the US. So again, it is worth noting we've seen reports similar to this in the past, but as the EU does face a little bit of criticism here for their trade rules, for their regulations, and just in general, they're going to be apparently being patient with regards to any of these rulings in Google, but Google still will be facing a potential second EU fine under their landmark digital rules. Back to you.
Thank you for that, Adara. All right, so there you go. You get that little bounce there in Bitcoin right at the volume weighted average price. What we'll do is we'll post up at 16s. We're going full size again. There you go. You get 16s. Maybe we go a little bit lower because we want a quality price right here. We'll go 15s to see if we can catch that fill right there. Again, right at the volume weighted average price. 5 cents better than the previous entry. And again, only going to give it 10 cents. So if we get that fill at 15, 63.05s, we're out of the trade, Sharif.
All right, man. Yeah, there's just very little continuity on these. So, yeah, what can you do, man? Can't sit on my hands the entire show for 3 hours because there's no continuity on them. But there isn't. You know, you're picking them up off levels that were working last week. They're not working this week. So you're just going to have to be patient or trade much smaller because yeah, there's a dearth here of good small cap gappers the last few days. It's just the way it is. All right, so we're watching here. I've got 71s on. It's still in the 50s, popping back up into the 60s. It's still defending the 10 EMA quite well. Of course, it came down into my level, but it didn't print because that's just the nature of the beast. So we'll continue to watch. I've got something on here at around 75, so we'll let that one go. This one, I'm going to have to let go as well, DVLT. It's losing the 10 EMA. I'm not going to sit in DCA into this one. We've got somehow, we'll put an average in here, not average in, we just got out. I'll get back in at 83.5 because that's where the volume weighted average price is. So that's exactly what we'll do. We'll go 835 and we'll post there. We'll see if we can get that back now to QLGN as I see that it just have a hammer candle off the 10 EMA showing, so we're break even on that one now. On this, let's see if it continues up. It's still much lower high and lower low, so I don't expect too much, quite frankly, from QLGN at this moment. Maybe we can get a quick price spike and get a couple of beak wetters. Of course, it popped up into my level and it didn't print as well, so that's just par for the course around here these days. So QLGN, just putting QLGN, just putting it on the side chart. Allow me a minute, guys. See a hammer candle, but no prints, Joey, so we'll have to pack our patience on this one. What else we got on the side? I'm seeing NUAI is also coming up a little bit. Let's change this one from LASC to NUAI. There we go. Nice. Nice. The taskbar is back, Joey. Now I'm pumped. Yeah. As long as the taskbar is here and blocking my view from being able to see the positions, that is my favorite time of the day. NUAI, no, I'm kidding. I just reclaimed VWAP, guys. It had a bit of a downtrend that made me stay away from it, but it feels like we're kind of breaking that clear downtrend now. Now, whether or not we trend in with the same aggression that we had to the upside the first time, we'll have to wait and see. But it is above VWAP. It found support at the 50 EMA on the 5 at about $1.10, and now it's knocking the door of 1 1/4, just clearing that 1 1/5 area. So that would be of interest to me if we can hold and stay above VWAP. I like the first step of the entry on this one is to wait for the trend change, and I think we did get that, having decisively broken above that downtrend line, and now the second order of business is to stay above the volume weighted average price. So I'm going to continue to pack my patience for NUAI, but that one is certainly in focus to me as I continue to watch QLGN reject VWAP from the south side, but it didn't respect it from the north side. It makes perfect sense.
North side, south side. Jail. Right away. All right, guys, let's take a look at here. There goes Bitcoin again. We got 63.05, another 10 cents a risk to see if we can get this VWAP to hold up there, post it up. And then now, all right, guys, let's take a look at the top performing sectors of the day. Yes, there is only one of them holding onto the green, and that is going to be the energy sector. We will take a look at XLE momentarily, and then XLRE holding on by a thread to the red. Only down 0.01%, and then we have the communication service down about 0.13%. Also, the bottom three, guys, consumer staples down 0.6. We have the consumer discretionary down 1.12%, and then the healthcare down 1.65%. And that is the top performing and the worst performing sectors of the day. Now, if we were to go on to the weekly Some names that were leading the way are now at the bottom of the pack, and that is going to be IWM down 1 1/3 there. And then we have the SPY sitting in second last, I guess we'll call it, down 1%. Dow in second place there, down closer to 1%, 9/10 to be exact. And then the Nasdaq, the tech-heavy Nasdaq, yes, that is, down 4/10 there, guys. All right, so those are your best and worst performing sectors of the day. Now, and also for the major averages, what do we got going on from an earnings standpoint? After the bell, we have Costco, the much anticipated Costco. I think that's going to be fantastic. Adair's excited about that one, so we are too. Now, as for IPOs, we got nothing really. MKTN, I don't know when that's going to be coming up, but possibly today. NYSE Exchange, NYSE names. Sharif doesn't like Amex that much. I don't like NYSE that much. Yeah, because they move. A lot of bamboozlement over there, Sharif. Yeah, there's beef, Adair. It's beef. It's personal beef, and we'll leave it at that. We don't want it to spread outside anywhere else. All right. So IBIT, bounce. We only got a couple more pennies, Sharif, until we get stopped out on attempt number 2, and then maybe, I don't know if there's going to be any form of a long here on it today.
All right, just continuing to watch QLGN at this level, looking to hold the $0.5. I've got the 5-second chart up on the top screen. Seems like local areas of support is the $0.5. There was one momentary breach of the $0.5. It was quickly retraced again. So I do believe if we lose 540, that is going to be the end of my trade. I do have a dip trade right there to pick up some at the 10 EMA, which is a little bit ahead of 540, 42. But I think that will be my line in the sand. So we're not going to DCA into an oblivion. So we've got that on. So we'll go ahead and do that. And then that will give us a little bit of security. NUAI is continuing to trend. And DVLT, we didn't get the fill, sadly, over here. So we tried to drop down into about 83.5 pennies, where the volume weighted average price is. This one's popping up back into 88. I had to stop out here because the bleeding was pretty aggressive. Back up to QLGN. We're taking some prints as this one moves back into the VWAP. We'll pause for a second. We'll send it to Adara. She's got breaking news.
Keep an eye here on Amazon, guys. AMZN, I am seeing reports that the company is agreeing to pay $2.5 billion to settle its case with the FTC on Amazon Prime. So again, to settle this FTC case, Amazon reportedly agreeing to pay $2.5 billion. Back to you.
Cool. Yeah. That's a lot of money. Good for Amazon.
Nice.
All right, here we go. All right, we popped up quite aggressively there. Let's see if we can get continuation on QLGN. I'm waiting. Joe, bro, like, I don't understand this, man. I really don't get this. Why are my prints not getting filled? Let's go. All right, so I don't want to take out too much over here, so we're just going to take out that. There we go. Let that one run. So I was actually waiting at 91s. I think local area high on QLGN right there is 90. Okay, that makes sense. So we'll continue to watch that. We've got 69s on right now, showing me mid-70s. It tried to get back above VWAP. It looks like it was, just a momentary move above VWAP. We'll have to see if it continues trend above that level. Trying to use 75 pennies now as some support. So that's my look there. Continuing to watch some others as well, as I mentioned, keeping an eye on NUAI, but it's going to have to maintain that level as well above the, I believe, 120 area, Joe. So well, we're back in the money here on QLGN, but for how long? We'll have to wait and see. My next profit taker is 90, and then we're waiting above 6.
All right, cool, good stuff. I'm taking this phrase from the late, great Charlie Munger, crypto crapo. Not doing too good today. I know the interview with Becky Quick, he did not like it. I don't think he ever really did anyways.
Neither did Becky Quick, bro. She was crapping all over Tom Lee back in the day. I was looking at one of the interviews, because it was 30, I think it's been 30 years. So that they were showing some older clips a few weeks ago. And she was like pressing Tom. She's like, you're keeping that in your portfolio? You're buying that? You're putting that?
Yeah.
And this is after 2018 when we had that move into 20,000. So you can't really say that nobody knew there wasn't potential.
There you go.
She hated it as well.
Anyways, there it goes, man. Another big time move to the downside. There's no specific turnaround signals. I was just looking for the volume weighted average price to hold, considering that, I guess, out of the opening drive, like, you have that 10 minutes of initial selling, and then you get that move back up to VWAP, but then Ethereum that just runs into a brick wall, and then now putting an additional leg lower. So see you later to that. Yeah, slightly frustrating, but we got to try to stay level-headed and see what else we can find. I wanted to short the Nasdaq as well too, but my risk profile isn't defined, so it's too many cents that I want to give it for the amount of size that I want to put on. So I'm not going to chase it or anything along those lines down here. I did have a feeling that the market was going to turn around at some point, but again, timing slightly off. There it is. You got ibit down 2.25 there. So yeah, not too good of a look in the overall space. And I just mentioned earlier as well too, Ethereum at the lows is officially down 20%. So that's going to be bear market territory for Ethereum. Now, as for some of the top volume names, let's take a gander at what we got going on. Maybe we can find some potential setups right there, but I'm not seeing any of the signals that I'm specifically looking for, and I have no issues with sitting on my hands. The 2 shots that I take, I am down more than half my shutdown now, full disclosure. So yeah, you got to be a little bit more cautious. Yesterday was a grind. Jag asked me, he's like, Joe, how's your day going earlier in the day? And I said, good. Was I red? Absolutely. But why was my day good? One, I was following rules and I was taking the executions that I was supposed to. And then eventually we just turned things around. So I'm just going to try to stick with the same mentality. Thursdays usually aren't my best day. I don't know what's up with that, but I think we can turn the tables here today. We just got to wait, be patient, and wait for some big time shots and opportunities I think we can get involved with. I mean, the quantum space is hot, so I wouldn't be surprised if buyers step in. And I mean, we can take one more stab at IBIT as well too to see if we get anything, but I think Ethereum's slightly stronger, Sharif.
Cool. All right. Just continuing to watch still, holding my position. A little above VWAP, a little bit below. There's really no discernible trend on this stock. So we'll let it trigger either our orders to the upside or to the downside. I'm not really going to stress myself over this too much. Now back to DVLT. I had an order over here to get filled for a move back into 90, and it didn't get filled. So there's that. Keeping an eye on NUAI. Looks like it's stair-stepping up quite nicely. I see VWAP here at a $1.18. It's showing me a $1.23. So if we lose a $1.18, I think that would be an interesting area out. So I can put possibly an order here for NUAI, but it's got a couple of candles of indecision, showing no real strength on this. So yeah, I think I'm just going to let, yeah, I'm trying to see if it's, what kind of buying we have over here. It looks like it might actually make another 5-minute candle will make a new high. It's kind of undecided at the moment. NUAI is the one I'm talking about. But I got to go back quickly over here to QLGN because it's taking out my levels, and now we're getting back into 595 area rejection. My next profit taker there is 611. We've got 64s on now, so let's see if this one ends up wanting to print or what its situation is. All right, so back to NUAI. I think I'm going to get in here, and if it loses $1.18, we'll just get out. So we're going to go long, and then we'll put the stop at 117. If it loses that, well, then that's the cost of doing business. Oh, I entered that one in wrong, Joey, so that will not trigger NUAI. We're going to have to cancel that, my man. There we go. All right. And then we'll just go like this into, there we go. So now we're good to go on that. We should probably throw some profit takers on this bad boy as well, and we'll go ahead and wait here at the north side. Oh my God, oh my goodness.
Yeah, you need me to take it over?
No, just, you know, the taskbar. It's okay. It's not a big deal. So that's what I'm keeping my eye on, guys. VERI as well coming into the volume weighted average price. Interesting look there. USAR also coming into VWAP. OPAD looks like it might be losing that 4 2/3. A very spready name though, so be careful with that. And those are all I've got on at the moment.
All right, brother. Yeah, all right. So we took those stabs there on IBIT. I like what Ethereum's doing. They kind of move in correlation, obviously, but we'll take the stab at it. Slightly stronger. I like this price action a little bit more. So patience, patience, patience. Wait for this 5-minute candle to close. If it closes at how it's currently printing right now, then we'll take the attempt on that one. Just go heavy, risk whatever we're going to, and then maybe we get that test of the high day. If not, then it is what it is, and we'll take a hefty loss, and our risk measures are going to be drastically tighter, and we have to size down in shares. So there goes the Nasdaq coming right back into the volume weighted average price. Nice topping tails there, or sorry, not topping tails, but a nice base that it formed at these highs. You have this support right here, and then now maybe you get that move back in towards the volume weighted average price. But one thing that this drives me nuts here, is that it's like, okay, yeah, move down, and then this 5-minute candle just engulfs everything, and then you come right back down. So this is just liquidity grabs, stopping people out who have too tight of stops, who are using it within the range, and then they just take the price back down again. All right, there goes Ethereum. Oh, you dirty dog, you. All right, still patience, want this 5-minute hammer to close as it's continuing to move back towards VWAP. Amazon, hey, people are saying grab this name. I'm not seeing anything that I love in particular. Keep an eye out for this as well. If you don't break through this high, you have this isolated volume print right here. Third largest of the day. Inverted hammer closes complete one. So keep an eye out on that, especially if the support level's cracked, then you're going to want to get out of that trade for sure, Sharif.
All right, man. We're out of QLGN. Is it lost trend again? It looks like it's coming back into the 10 EMA on the 5, but it's got no continuation. So we'll just get out of that. I'm just going to put this over here. I think that would be good. There we go. I think I fixed it now, actually. So we're going to keep tabs on QLGN there. All right, guys. Yeah, this one is losing it in a hurry. Very happy with my out there. Getting out break a little actually above break even for a couple of penny winners, but there we go. It's losing the 10 now. It's losing the 50 penny area, which was a local area of support, and now it's making lower lows as well as lower highs. Be on the lookout. 520 could also be an interesting area of support, given that we did do a bit of a dance there at that 520 area. Not an area that I'd buy it at because it's below VWAP and the 10 EMA, but one that I see price action supported there.
We're coming into some slightly perilous levels for crypto today. BTC, a little bit of this is the weekly chart, just kind of zoom out. Of course, we know there's weakness in crypto. We had a little bit of a double top here of those all-time highs. Then we've actually now made, at least on, as you can see at this week basis here, last week, a slightly lower high. Now, BTC looks like it needs to hold support here at 107.3, 107,000, of course. Let's take a look at Ethereum as well. Ethereum on the weekly also looking like it's breaking its uptrend a little bit, though again, both names are near all-time highs. They can always recover. Now let's talk a little bit about why this might be happening. Now, obviously the market as a whole is weak. Crypto is moving in tandem with everything else. But according to Deribit, which is a derivatives exchange, more than $17 billion in notional open interest tied to Bitcoin and roughly $5.3 billion tied to Ether, they're due to expire this Friday. So we're going to get some, looks like, derivatives expiries here coming through on Friday. Now, the pullback this week is also being attributed here to $1.7 billion in bullish positions being wiped out at the start of the week. So definitely seems like things are rotating to be a little bit bearish for Bitcoin, at least on the short term, according to this data. Back to you.
Adara, thank you, Adara, for that. Yeah, ibit, still same thing. I'm looking at the same two names right now. Sharif looking at pounds there, brother.
Okay, bro. That was quick. All right. I'm holding NB. I just got into NB right now. It's got a good little trend. Where do we get in? 26-ish, show me 29s. NB is up 12.5%. It's got good strength in terms of trend, not big in the percentage winning game. This is the one right here that I'm looking at, NB. Very, very directional, higher highs, higher lows, a lot of strength on this. So that's what I'll be looking at. I put some beak wetters north of 30. It's generally holding the 10 EMA on the 5 with some wicks below that level, but I think that I can manage with that. Let's see if it can pop up. Spread is reasonable. I've seen it as wide as 2. Generally, it is 1 penny though, so that is my look on NB. Let's weasel back over to the other one over here. What do we got? NUAI, we've got 23s on. It's showing me 21s. If it loses VWAP, that's the end of my trade on that. I'm also keeping an eye on USAR. USAR, as I mentioned, came into the volume weighted average price. It's not up big. It's only about 7.5%. It doesn't even make it down into VWAP. In fact, it got, I want to say, 7 2/3. VWAP has been stagnant at 17, excuse me, 2/3. VWAP's been stagnant at 17.5. Here we go, approaching 18. I think if we take out 18, this could be an interesting area to wet the beak. So that's what I'll be looking at from my perspective. Let's take a look at my friend NB. We've taken several prints now on NB to the high side. So NB awfully strong, relatively speaking, of course. We're not talking about quadruple digit strong, but hey, I mean, we don't often see those type of markets on small cap gappers. So show me 34, excuse me, on B. I've got my beak wetter at 34, and there's the print. Good luck. We've got decent size on this one, so I'll be able to take multiple outs. Now we're waiting in the high 30s. Let's see if we can get something in the high 30s, low 40s. Good to see you, Jeff. How you been, brother? How's the flight? Everything was good? Good, good. OG Jeff Mendel sitting next to me over here. Everybody knows him from OTC Markets. There he is. There he is. I love the hat, dude.
Crazy.
Good luck, Jeff Mendel, OG, friend of the shows.
Yes, sir. All right.
You go ahead, Joe.
Yeah, all right, cool. Yeah, Tesla, let's take a look at what Tesla is. There's the pop, right? Didn't take it. I was just being a little bit more patient, waiting for that pullback, and then it just decides to take a pretty nice move to the top side. I do like Tesla a little bit here. You can see that the Nasdaq is about to put in a new high of the day. Oh. And then you also have this hammer candle, so what we can do is just draw our basic trend lines, keep it simplistic here, kiss, as we like to do, boom, and we get there, and there's the nice little pop in Tesla. And let's get involved in some TSLL. I got to give this one too many cents, so I don't get to put on the amount of shares that I would like, but that's okay. We'll get something involved here just in case that it wants to continue its climb and it's ascent to the top side. There goes Amazon. I just hopped in. Would you hop in there, Hangry Wife? Tesla as well, too. All right, let's go. Hopefully the odds are in our favor. We do have these higher lows, which is something positive that can be displayed within that name. I did want this trade a little bit more. Again, would have gotten in at 95s, and then boom, you almost get your 20 cents right there. You do get your 20 cents, and then you hit that 2-to-1, and there comes Tesla right back to the downside. So
down.
Yeah, down, man. We're long, so we're not loving that whatsoever. Again, I don't. See, that's the thing, right? So I'm just really focusing. The lower you get to the bottom of the price, right? So the lower in price you get, the less you have to risk. Here, I'm up here at 61s, and I'm essentially not wrong into the break. So that's why I have to go a little bit smaller size so that I can let it fluctuate a little bit, and then hopefully we get that move within our favor, all right? So that's what we got cooking up. Let's take a look at some of the top volume names on the session. The task bars today, man, they get you. So there it is, FCX, Freeport Morgan. They did get a downgrade this morning. Boom, straight out of the gate to the downs right away, Sharif. No trial or anything, 37.53, kind of all the way to 35.42. So that's overcook, undercook right away to jail. Rigetti, not the quantum space being hot once again throughout the day. So
that never happened.
No. I don't know who these people think they are over here. Nice bounce at QBTS as well too. Who has the most INTC with 145 million shares traded on the session? Bull flag being formed. Hammer time on that one. AAL, what are the airlines up to? I heard they took a beating yesterday, and that is exactly the case. Boom, all the way $12. You close around $11.94, and then you take another big time leap there to the downside, I guess that is. So you're jumping off a cliff in AAL.
Crazy.
Google was looking pretty good. Another bull flag right there, so not too bad. And then what else do we got going on? Of course, Ethereum is still going without me. Great times there, Sharif.
Buvin, you're killing me, Buvin. C-Poop is back. Oh, no. All right, here we go, baby. And it's halted to the upside. Assassino, I would say this thing crapped all over itself. It was going.
Oh, sorry, no, I didn't mean to interrupt you. It's not doing much.
All good. It's going up. So look, this thing was at $1.25, $1.20 low. It's now halted to the upside over here at $1.63. Keep your eye on this one. It's gonna have to get above that $1.75 for me to get involved. Let's see where the topping tail. So this topping tail here, that's 208. That's a real or a regular market time high. Means it printed after 9:30. It's a 9:35 area high, 208. So I don't necessarily have to wait for it to clear, but ideally we should be trading above the area high. So I'll keep my eye on C-Poop, of course, because I fondly remember it from the good days of when we had good trades on it. So that's what I'm looking at there. So I'm back into DVLT. Already took a beak wetter there. I'm looking for a move into $1 here on DVLT. Keeps defending prior bar low, so I don't think I'm going to have my out on DVLT on any indicator level. I'm talking about the 10, VWAP. I'm just going to base it on prior area low because that's what DVLT is doing. It's holding prior area low. So that's my move on that. We'll see if we can kind of move up. I've got 91s. Here comes at 92. There goes 92. There's a seller here at 92. Can we pop up a little bit more? 92.5. Let's see if we can get the beak wet. We do. Are we waiting? Are we getting into 93? We're awfully close to breaking 93, but it's 93.41. That's the high of the day, by the way. So getting above that level takes us into the high of the day and then possibly maybe even into $1. So that's what I'll be looking at. Let's see what this one's doing over here. NB's coming right back into the 10 EMA on the 5. The 10 EMA on the 5 is at 22s. I've got 26s on that one. So I think I'm going to pack my patience on that. I'll base it again, like I said, on prior area low rather than technical moving averages or the like. Okay, nice move up here by DVLT, taking out. Now we have a new high dates, 94 pennies. I'm actually waiting at 94, so here we are again at 94. Do we take out the buyer there? Yes, he's gone. Now we're going to wait at 96. Can we squeeze? And then I'm going to wait at 98. Can we squeeze up? Can we at least get into that $1? Be ready if you're long DVLT for the rejection at the $1, right? We've seen this story before. There's 95. It's now a 95 penny high day. I didn't get printed because it didn't cross. Let's see if we can work our way back into that 95. We're showing 94.5 right now. So there's good strength on this. We'll let the beak over here since we've got some shares. C poop is open.
Oh.
C poop is open and it might halt again to the upside. Let's load up C poop. Oh, nice. The taskbar always greets me, Joey. Every time I load up a new stock, it's just got to let me know, hey, I'm still here. You know, don't forget about me.
Don't.
Right? So we're getting into that volume. Oh, no. We're clearing VWAP on C poop. So here goes CPOP, guys. I'm kidding by calling it C poop. Just an inside joke. Let's see if this one can clear it, Bovin. I mean, we're at the volume weighted average price right now. We really haven't rocketed up or anything like that yet. Sorry, Mimi. You may not have been around for the prior time this was running, but it's called C-poop ubiquitously around here. Here comes that 80s again, but we still haven't decided to clear the 10 or the volume weighted average price. So you can still see the equilibrium between buyers and sellers at this point, a little above VWAP, a little bit below as the shorts look to get in at VWAP or the longs look to take profits at that level as well. So be on the lookout here. Trade it carefully because it does have a tendency to reverse on you super quick. That's just from my experience. So that's what I'm looking at right now.
All right, beautiful, beautiful. Wow. NVDA coming back to be that monster of a force here. Yeah, it's being a force here today for sure. What pre-market sell-off? What gap down in the market? We're NVDA. We are the boss out here and the largest corporation in all of the United States of America. You know what's funny when my friends and I were in Chicago, and we're doing the river run and stuff. And I'm like, I love US&A, how Borat would say it, and everybody on the boat was laughing. It was actually hilarious. Yeah, so just a little Borat there. The 30-year? Okay, yeah, Matt. Nice look. I mean, if you think that it's going to come down a little bit, then by all means. Actually, hey, let's do this. I found a nice, cool new tool. And then, you know, your boy, when he finds a new tool, he likes to use them there. All right, let's pull it up. And see what we got going on with the long end of the curve here, my friend. That is not what I was looking for. Where is it? Where are you? No, don't do that to me. Show yourself. Don't do it to me, Assassino. Oh. Stop it.
Of course he's going to.
Of course he's going to, bro. Man. Oh, it's not. Where'd it go? Man, remember that tool that I showed you the other day, Sharif?
I know no such thing, Joseph.
Okay, all right, that's all right. I'm not going to search for it right now. No, I was just telling you about the unemployment rates, the bond yields, and everything along those lines. I don't. Oh, there it is. Bang. We found it. So there it goes. Let's see when we get to the longer end here. Yield's starting to go up here a bit, and I mean that's usually bearish for equities, right? So nice look there. what is this? We got the 20-year moving up here, and then I mean, yeah, there it is, right? So you got the yield curve coming from 4.7, and then you're starting to curl right back up there, so not too bad of a look. And with this tool as well, you can take a look at some of the unemployment, right? So you got options as well, screensavers, macro maps. We can take a look at that and see what else we got going. Look, you guys want to see something real cool? Well, it's not cool at all, because look at the nation itself, Canada's unemployment.
Domination.
Yeah, 7.1%, folks, right there. And then as of May, this is COVID, up to about almost 14% unemployment. So that's what we're sitting at, 7.1% right now, Sharif.
All right, brother. All right. So we're involved again. We're in 4 names. I'm sorry, the position board's out again, guys, but we are in DVLT. So I'm taking prints here as we continue to trend into that $1 area. Just went the peak there quickly at 95s, but I got a new position, USAR. Look, this is a slower mover. So what we're gonna do is we're giving this one a little room. I'm basing it on prior bar low. So prior bar low takes me down about 1782. I'm looking for this one to kind of curl and hold and clear 18. So it got a little bit into that 17 2/3. I've been putting in higher highs, higher lows. It feels like it may be rounding off that volume weighted average price, but I may get caught in some bamboozlement. That is kind of part and parcel of doing business with these small cap gappers. So we'll see if we do. I've already placed my stop. I've placed some profit takers for a nice price spike up. It's up about 8%. USAR is the ticker, okay? I'm also involved in NB, and this one is pulling into the 10 EMA like I've seen before. With NB, we've got actually 26s on. It's actually showing me 25, so I think I'm gonna get a reload here on NB. How many shares do we have? Yeah, okay, I can take, yeah, we'll go like that. That's exactly what we'll do. We'll add the appropriate amount there for my trade on NB. So that's what I'll keep my eye on. But I see C-Poop as well, continuing to trend to the high side. Here we go. It's really not giving up the ghost. Sure, it had a couple of topping tail candles through VWAP. I'm talking about that one that popped into 185. But here we are again on the current 5-minute candle with a higher low. Not necessarily a higher high, but we have a higher low, so we didn't really print to the downside. So that's what I'm looking at. Continuing to watch that, see if we can possibly work our way into this. But I'm in 4 positions at the moment. I'm trying to monitor all of them a little bit on the tougher side at the moment. So that's what we'll keep an eye on, Joey, as C-Poops zigs and zags. DVLT coming into my level. NUAI, we haven't got really anything on there. It's got a flat top at 1 1/4. NB, I just added to on the pullback into the 10 EMA. And then at USAR, I still feel like this is putting in higher highs and higher lows, but I haven't got any prints on this one. I'm also hoping for a nice price spike up because it's kind of doing this trend where I've seen in the past price spikes happen from trends like this. Here we go. Now it's showing me 10s on this one. We've got 6s. Let's see if we can get in to about 15s. That's where the first profit taker for me is, Joey. But I like the trend on it. Just trying to pack my patience.
All right, man. Good look there, guys. You can see we got this little wedge that's starting to form here on Tesla. Which way are we going to break? If we come back in towards the lower end, I want to see it continuously compress. And then maybe we can get a little bit of a break and then add aggressively. And just go buck wild. Oh, I thought Ramin was telling me to do it. Just do it, says Shia LaBeouf. All right, so we're going to go to Adara momentarily. We're keeping our eyes out on Tesla. It's working out for us right now. But again, I'm only in about 1/3 of the size that I should be. I didn't like the risk profile, but I just wanted to get involved in it for just to get a little bit of a feeler. Adara, what do you got for us?
Trump is taking questions now during his meeting with President Erdogan of Turkey. They are currently speaking. If I get any more details, I will let you know. But yeah, this Q&A just began. He's now answering questions. Back to you.
I got
all right, go ahead.
We're taking prints here on C-Poop. We're going to get caught in an uphold here on C-Poop.
All right, nice.
Okay, so we're getting caught in an uphold. We've got 90s on. We're going to get caught at 8s if it grays out a little bit more, which I'm fine with. Let's see. Boom. Nice. Okay, we're caught in the uphold right now on the pooped one. Nice breakout there. I didn't get the best price. I saw it take out 85. That was my move. Once I saw prior bar high get taken out, I'm talking about the candle that closed at 1140. The high, the wick of that candle was 185. As soon as I saw that get taken, I ran over to the screen. I didn't have a resting order. And then once I was able to punch, after multiple entries without getting the fill, I was able to finally get the fill. And we're taking this one to the high side. All right, I see NUAI is also breaking out above that level again that we talked about, that 1 1/4. It defended excellently the 10 EMA. Let's wet the beak here. Oh no, USAR is taking out all the prints as well. Go USAR, you hot garbage. Let's go. Let's see if we can get into 18.5. We've got nice move on this one. 06s, show me 25s. So I'm trying to manage all these at the same time, guys. We're in 5 positions at the moment. I need to get rid of some of these because I don't like managing too many too quickly. Tell me, Shaoli, I hope Joby's not crap in the bed, brother. I'm just going to take a quick look over here. No, it's good. It's good. It's very good. All right, good. No, I don't have to be upset. All right, shout out to my man Shaoli in the chat there. All right, Joey, so that's what we're doing. We're going to do it live. Ooh. And we're not going to stop, Joey. That's the thing. Here we go.
How are we doing it?
You know what else we're doing? We're taking prints here on NB, Joey. That's what we're doing, man.
Who hit the bang now?
Bang, man.
Is that you, Katina Man?
The Katina Man, he just sat down, brother.
All right, that's all right. Hey, man, just... Okay.
The Katina Man's got 156.60 fills on MU. So we're going to shout out the Katina Man.
I mean, come on, Adam.
Katina Man, yeah. You want the new position yelled out, you're going to have to hit the sirens, Katina Man. There we go. New position alert, future short. Short, yeah. Assassino, if you want to show a screen, there it is. Oh, no, somebody's taking prints to the downside. Say it ain't so.
Say it
well,
ain't so.
I'm going to champion that. All right. Joey, tell them what you got.
All right. Yeah, there goes Bitcoin, right? Nice move there. Okay, let's find something else. Let's enough of this what-if history. We don't play any of that garbage around here. So yeah, there it is. We're long here on TSLL. This pullback was a pretty good opportunity to add a little bit more, but we just want to wait for this price compression to kind of pick a definitive direction. If we come back into the middle of the range and we hold some of these lows, then I think we'll be okay. And you can see the defense start to pick up on the tape. Let's start to filter out some size as well. We're going to have to go substantially larger here on TSLL. That's going to be 8,000. And even so, you can see what's on the immediate and
hey, brother.
What's up, Mr.
How's it going?
What's up, guys?
What's up, brother?
Can I just jump in during the middle of a trade?
No. Wait, we're always in trades, brother. We're long some Tesla right now. That's it.
Oh, sweet, dude.
How you doing, brother?
Can everyone hear me right now?
Yeah. Can we hear our guy?
Are we good? How are we good on sound? Good? Oh, awesome. Oh, man.
Casino, are we good?
Not that we need it. Not that we need it.
Thank you. There we
Tesla,
go.
Dude. That's
Tesla.
awesome.
Yeah. So we're in some Tesla.
Mm-hmm. What else we got?
I'm in 5 positions, and they're all small cap crappers, Jeff. They're around today. They're not around tomorrow. That's what I like.
They must be on Nasdaq then.
Oh,
taking shots
oh
at
my
the
God.
competition.
Okay, what else we got up
crazy.
here?
I mean, like we're long right here from 1960. We're almost 20 cents in the money right there, Mr. Mendel. So that's what we got rolling on. We got the Chad here as well.
Dude, I also love like you got Robinhood up there. You got your little street over. It's amazing the move that Robinhood has made over the past year or whatever.
Since the April lows, right? We don't know anybody around here who's bought any of that.
No. Oh my God.
Yeah. We don't know anybody.
Awful.
We don't know any of those.
So you know what? A ton of it's been trading overnight too.
To get to that.
Overnight,
Tesla. Nvidia.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm just looking at your screen right now. The triple Qs.
Everything.
It's absolutely insane.
How's the overnight trading now?
It's actually going pretty good right now.
Yeah.
So everything's starting to pick up a little bit, and then it's crazy. So right now we're hearing that South Korea. They're going to get back involved, and they were probably the biggest players in the overnight space.
That makes sense.
And then, I mean, right? It's perfect for them, right? Trading during their daytime. They haven't been involved. Retail hasn't been involved over there for the past about a year now, and they're going to come back in November. And so I think volumes are probably going to double easily. Volumes are easily going to double.
I was just going to say that as well, too. On Blue Ocean, the volume on Tesla and some of these bigger names has been absolutely phenomenal. So it's been great trading. The liquidity's there, and it's been really, really good, especially after they heard that Elon was buying a bunch of stock back. And then days after that, people were just going nuts on Blue Ocean trading it. So yeah, it's been a lot of fun.
You're going to see that. There's also other players that are getting involved in it as well too, giving more access to firms like like Schwab and Robinhood and everyone like that. And it's like, listen, we got Moon.
Got the moon,
right?
baby.
Everyone's connected there too. So
connected.
had to throw that in there.
Yeah,
but,
of course.
Yeah, dude. And then I think really next year too, we're going to start seeing names like Tencent and all these ADRs, BYD and stuff like that. The actual ADRs start trading overnight.
Flying these
too.
days, Jeff.
Yeah,
there's tons of activity.
These ADRs on your exchange right now.
Dude, tons and tons of activity. Like even all summertime too. Just stuff is going all over the place. Trading, you know, and I mean, there's been a general trend up, but still the intraday volatility and everything like that has been great for like day trading and stuff like that, especially you know what you guys are preaching on here as well too.
The removal of the what's it called, the $25,000 minimum just got approved today, the pattern day trader rule.
Oh really?
Just today. And so you're just going to have a flood of new money coming in, Jeff. We're not going to have to schlep and open up multiple accounts.
What did they lower it to? Do you know?
2,000.
Oh wow. So that's like it's like here now essentially. So okay, that's pretty cool.
I just heard it here first.
Hey.
There you go. That's pretty. That's pretty cool. You know, it's like make it so people can, you know, kind of come in and
yeah. Well, I mean, it's like with the PDT, it's like okay, you have a $25,000 account, but you still have to stay within that threshold. So you actually need more than the 25K to start actually trading. But I like how you brought up the ADR, Sharif, because we know from a gap standpoint, when you wake up in the morning, you have the likes of Baba and some of these names gapping up a couple percent. Take a look at them overnight because they're going to be trading. They're going to be trading them.
And that's the thing. Constantly, Jeff, we always look at these ADRs and they have more gaps than I've seen on any other stock. And there's obvious reasons for that, right? The Chinese market's awake when we're not. And so being able to actually execute on these in case, you know, a position goes south against you, to me, it's a game changer.
I think
especially for swing traders too. So you don't actually have to wait for that 4 a.m. early print, pay a bit more in commissions, and you have to do all that. So I love it, man. I love it.
Yeah, instead you could just be up all night, just
I'm okay with that. I'd rather not, right?
Just grinding Baba to see what's going on.
It's like we're talking a lot about ADRs and listed stuff as well too, and then also you got to remember Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac, FNMA, FMCC. You know, there's going to be a little bit more shake up in there too, right?
I bet.
If they go public, raise some more. Well, I mean they're already public, right?
You know what I mean?
You know, if they're doing another raise there too, very liquid. I mean, look at Fannie Mae. Like I don't know where it was this time last year, but now it's like at $12.
And
it's still it was at $3.
$3, so there you go.
This time last year, right? I mean. Come on, guys! It's great opportunities around here to trade, especially like you know what we're concentrating or what you guys are concentrating on here at the show as well too. I'm just looking up, see what else is moving around.
Yeah, we got everything moving on. We got the scanners rolling as well too.
Yeah, I paid specifically for OTC market data on that bad way.
So we got everything. We can take a.
There we go.
Also, if anyone has been watching this show for more than like a couple years or a few years now, I've probably said this before, but I remember when there was a little cocktail table and a webcam, and that was the show. And it was us right here. It was us right here. By the way, what is going on behind this right now, and what is going on behind me right now is absolutely out of this world.
Yeah, you're loving it.
It is going to be insane.
Yo, Mendy's the best hype man ever.
It's
best hype man ever.
It's gonna be better than Market Site in Times Square.
Statements drop the cash.
But listen, when you guys go out for lunch, there's a time limit. So if you guys are doing that, because I know what goes on at those lunches there, Mr. Mendo. So if you guys are rocking and rolling,
the Katina man wants to come in.
You better get the step in.
There is no time limit.
There's a time limit. All right, hey.
4 o'clock, 5 o'clock. It doesn't matter. We have to fill in.
It doesn't have. Yeah, we're filling in with these guys.
I love it, guys. Speaking of 4 and 5 o'clock too, I heard we're going to expand the show a little bit.
You heard about that, man?
Gonna go.
There's other secrets too, Jeff. That we
am I not
can't
supposed to be saying this?
No.
Am I not supposed to be saying this?
Jeff, please.
Where's Brendo?
Please don't spoil it for everybody, Mr. Jeff Mendo.
But maybe I'll be joining.
Yeah.
Obviously,
like that, guys.
Man. No, so they do know a little bit, Jeff, that the show's growing, but I don't think they know the full gauntlet of secrets, though.
How many followers are are we up to on YouTube?
Oh wow,
now?
It's over.
I keep saying we. I feel like I've been here from the beginning.
We're at 538, baby.
Dude, that's amazing. Come on.
With 5,800 watching right now.
Sean, I blame you for not being at 1 million.
Ooh.
Cantina man, bro. Let's go.
Come on.
You got to get it together there, brother. Got to pick it up, man.
Seriously, dude, that's huge news, though. Back to the 2000, the change of the 25,000 right there. That's gonna be awesome.
Yeah, it's going to be big. And then that's part of the reason, Jeff, that we're actually doing the new format is for exactly that reason, because we just know there's going to be a lot more retail interest in it, and retail doesn't exclusively subscribe to 9 to 5, so we want to be there for them.
Not anymore. Not anymore.
No, not necessarily, brother. I mean, especially people who are trading on the side, you may have a night job, you may have a day job, and so your hours may have to follow a different setup, right?
Exactly. So
and more sympathetic we couldn't be. So
just grinding on.
And then
good stuff. I know you guys got 30 seconds left. Give the wrap up. 30 seconds.
30 seconds.
Right? Wait. Oh no, you guys go through it.
Oh yeah.
We go through
that's what I'm saying.
We go through it.
You guys better pick it up on the launch here.
I have 0 seconds.
Yeah. Exactly.
Good job, guys.
Thanks for coming on, brother. Thanks for coming on, brother. Yeah, Jeff Mendel, guys. OTC markets.
Class. Pure class.
He's all class. All class,
Pure
Jeff.
class, yeah,
We often say all class Adam, Duluth, but straight up, I was watching Jeff Mendel. So if you guys don't know the story, I was a viewer for almost 2 years before I even set foot in this office, and Mendy was on way before me.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Jeff,
so Mendy is the OG. He is that guy. All right, Joey, there's a whole bunch to update you on.
Let's go.
So we were caught in the up-halt on C-Poop, and we did okay. We took a nice move there into 210. I don't know what's going on, but I was trying to punch out in the high teens, and I just wasn't getting the fill. So I think I'm hitting wrong keys. Something's going on, but that was the second time I had problems executing on C-Poop. It does seem to be holding up 190. If it can get back above that $2 area, I'm going to get back into this. It's up 40%. It's cleared the previous area high. It's a 219 high. So if we're going to get involved with something, might as well get in something with strength. And here it goes again. I'm going to get in small here, okay? Because I don't know if this is going to rocket up, and I want to be able to dollar cost average into prior bar low. Prior bar low takes me into 187. So on C-Poop right now, we've got 99s. So let's go ahead and see exactly where we'd want to get that next little add in. And we're, again, small size here on C-Poop. I don't want to give anything really back that aggressively. So we'll see what we can get. We won't get upset coming into my level. There it is. We get the fill. Loses prior bar low. We get out. It's that simple. So here it is. Pop it into high 80s. It's going to have to hold high 80s. Otherwise, we're going to get out. It's got to be a good trend. Otherwise, that's it, Joey.
Yeah.
So watching to see exactly if it loses prior bar low. It's still zigging and zagging high 80s. I'm not seeing any 90 prints right now, so you can tell the sellers are certainly in control. We've got 93s on right now on C-Poop. That's going to be the end of the trade. I don't need to manage that while I'm managing others. Now back to DVLT. Multiple prints to the high side over here on DVLT. We've got 90s on. Now it's 95s. Best peak wetter 96. Next setup 98s. Also on NUAI, popped up into 26, took a beak wetter there. Still putting in higher highs and higher lows off the 10 EMA. Going to keep my eye out on that. And last but not least, NB. This is slowing down a little bit here. I added into NB on the move up. Let me see if I can wet the beak a little bit more over here because
bang.
We have to take out some prints over here. So we'll see if we can get that bit of a spread on NB. Last but not least, USAR consolidating at 18 1/4, 18 1/3. Very sideways move, but still above the 10 EMA. I'm packing my patience for a move up. We're going to take an opportunity to send it to Adair for happening now. No Neil's lesson of the day today.
Yeah, Trump talking here about tariffs taking in a lot of money, but the real reason I want to let you guys the real thing I want to talk to you guys about right now is Fed's Goolsbee. He is saying here that he's comfortable with gradual rate cuts if inflation keeps moving towards 2%. So this is actually more on the dovish side compared to a lot of recent Fed speakers. He also said that he's still relatively optimistic that tariffs will not broadly drive up inflation and that rates can come down. So Fed's Goolsbee seeing a path here to rate cuts. Back to you.
Thank you.
Well, that was a very long happening now.
Yeah, I mean, hey, what's happening right now is that Tesla's starting to come back in. There's that 1 minute hammer candle. We'll take a little bit more off. We didn't take too much there, but I don't like that print, so I'm gonna have to take a little bit more. We'll just be we'll be proactive on this one. How many shares do I have left? Let's figure that one out. Yeah, we'll take a little bit more than a half, and if it continues to run, then so be it. We're just listening to what the market is saying. Okay, great, didn't get that fill. Come on, man. All right, there we go. All right, so yeah, we got a nice little move again. I didn't have enough shares. Would have liked some more. Didn't find the opportunity to add, but now we're starting to piece them out there. Look at the run that NVDA has been on. Dare you stand in front of this freight train? I don't know. If this closes, if we get sellers to push price down to 179.70, then we'll take it. Why? Was that high? 180.23. Guess what we're going to do next? You already know the process here. And we're going to see what we got going on. It's already up and ready for us to rock and roll. 180. Look at this. 181,000 contracts already traded on the session. 111 outstanding at 180. I'm going to pull up NVDL. Maybe we can get as close to that peak as we possibly can and look for that rejection of that specific level. How many cents do I have to risk right now? 50. We're going to go in really, really small to start. Let's get involved in this. And if we get a little bit of a pullback, then we're going to add aggressively. As long as we don't crack that 87.60 level, then we're going to be off to the races for this potential short. Going off of what the options chain is telling us, open interest, you have the concentration, volume starting to pick up drastically as well too. And this is what I was referring to earlier in the session, if you were here with us this morning, is that if you go to the puts, it's never going to be the amount of size. You have obviously those black swan events where you have some more puts being bought, and you want to look at the put to call ratio as well too. But you'll always see more volume on the call side there, Sharif.
All right, Joey, good call, my man. All right, let's throw in some profit takers at this level. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going on.
Was it the taskbar?
There we go. No, actually, it's just the software now, but it's okay. I think I got it. USAR got back into the 10. I took some profits. We're getting back into this one. It's holding the 10 generally. So we took some good beak wetters on this one, but now we have a higher cost basis as a result of flattening out. Next profit taker, 25s. It showed me 26s on the level 2 ask side, 20s on the bid side. Looking for this one to cross and continue up. The next profit taker above 25 is going to be at 30. I'm still holding NB, but this one, I don't know if it's really holding the trend all that well. NUAI looking a lot better. Quite frankly, though, this looks like an inverse head and shoulders on the 5 minute. And if that's the case, then we take out that 1 1/3. So I don't want to take out too much too quickly on NUAI. Let's go ahead and put that next profit taker. We have one at 28s. We'll put the other one at 31s and see if we can get something in and around that area. So I didn't continue on CPOP, CPOOP, because this one did drop. And it's still putting in lower highs and lower lows. So this is the chart right now on CPOP. It's generally holding VWAP. That's the second candle in a row that's gotten into VWAP, but we still have lower highs, right? So we still have to really clear that 203 to change trend on the lower highs. And so that hasn't happened yet, so that doesn't get me involved in the trade. That's all I've got there. I don't mind getting into CPOP here and then just giving it to a little bit below VWAP, but it's just, I've done that before lately with these ones and they end up losing VWAP, so I don't want to continue to give back if I don't have to. The one I really want to focus on, though, is NB. I've got 26s, show me 24s, and it's just right around the 10 EMA, but it's got a 4-candle lower high setup. And I don't know if this is the right move for me. So I think I'm going to flatten it out here for a break-even trade. And if it sets up a bit better, I can get back in.
Oh, yes.
So that's one look there. Another one is OPAD. So this one was kind of doing nothing. And in fact, it didn't even trigger my, my alert. It got awfully close to triggering my alert, didn't trigger it though, and then rocketed right back up. So this one's right up into that 480 area. So that's a really good look here on OPAD. I'd be keeping my eye on that one. So I'll continue to watch CPOP and OPAD for possible entries. Obviously, USAR, as I just got into that one as well, Joey.
All right, good look there. Yeah, Hangry. I mean, we had a nice move. I know you were in this one a little bit earlier as well. But then one thing that I was noting is that just take a look at this candle, and then I get out immediately after that, right? So this inverted right above the volume-weighted average price. I'm like, okay, this is a bad signal. Let's take the majority of it off and leave a little bit of a runner, and that's what we got going on. So I only have a handful of shares. Let's see, maybe a couple handfuls. Yeah, we got a couple handfuls there, but now we're in some NVDL to the short. We have a lot of things working in our favor right now, okay? So we have to take this trade, and we're probably gonna have to put on a little bit more size. So this continuation, this move to the top side, extremely aggressive. There's multiple things. Gorev's pointed them out as well too. You have that inverted hammer candle at an extreme high. You have the second largest volume print of the day on that 5-minute interval. And then also we have that high levels of open interest on the options chain. We have 3 things that are working majorly in our favor right now, and it's our job now to try to take as much advantage of it as we possibly can. Gorev, Jag, whoever's involved in this short, this is a pretty quality setup. Is it guaranteed? Absolutely not. Unfortunately, nothing is, but the probability is in our favor, and it's our job to try to take as much advantage of it as we possibly can, okay? So that's the game plan. You can see, oh, nope, that's my TSL. I haven't even showed you guys what we got going on. So yes, Gorev, I did add to the short here, and it's starting to work out pretty good for us. So bang, once I seen this, that we failed to break through this high, I'm like, okay, this is my opportunity to get into full size. And then if it's gonna continue to work and looks like it wants to bleed, then another consolidation, and then we double it up, and then we go 2x risk. Are we gonna get all the way back to the VWAP? I don't know. That's 3 points away. If I Deontay Wilder this size that I have on to VWAP, it will be a pretty good day there, Shreve. So I like it. Robinhood's starting to come back in. I'm glad that Bitcoin's going, right? We did miss the opportunity in this hammer candle right at this 5-minute low, and it cracked through that downtrend. Let's see if that can be held and sustained. But you can see that we're in at 87.10 there, 30 cents. We got that with the NVDL short, and then we're also still holding on to some Tesla as well. Adair, what do you got for us?
Google News on watch here. We have Logan Kilpatrick, who is a AI product lead for the Google AI studio. Anyways, he just posted here on X that Google is releasing its robotics model. That'll be their first widely available robotics model called Gemini Robotics ER 1.5. If I get more info about the robotics model, I'll let you know. But either way, this is being announced here on X by one of the employees involved in the project. Back to you.
Thank you for that. Adair, yeah, Hangry Wave. I use primarily the 1 in the 5-minute, and then I obviously take a look at the dailies as well too. But those are my go-to intervals that I go with, right? So yeah, that's what we got. You're starting to experience a little bit of a pullback. I'm not too worried about it. As long as we don't crack that high, we're going to be involved in this trade, Shreve.
All right, good look, Joey. Good look, man. DVLT, keeping an eye on this one as it's making another move back into 95, 94 and change. Here we go. The tape's picking up as it finds support at the 10 EMA. DVLT, we can probably throw another beak wetter here. I'm going to put one at 97s because I have one at 98. So we're going to throw in at 197. Here comes 95. There's 95 showing up again, so good look. Let's also take a quick look at NUAI. This is right at my level, not printing because it's not crossing 128. That's where I've got my profit taker, 128, so we'll keep an eye out on that. I just got stopped at a USAR because it lost the 10 EMA on the 5, so we'll give back a little bit on this one. But it seems to be finding support at the 20. If it does, fantastic. It'll have to get back above 18 1/3 for me to get involved on USAR. So it looks like it's maybe finding some support generally at 18, but that's not my move. I'm just going to pack my patience on that. There we go. We get the fill on NUAI. Next profit taker, 131 on this one. NUAI, we've got on 23s. So good look on that. I also worked back in to CPOP over here. It's holding the volume weighted average price quite nicely, and the 5-minute candle that closed prior to this sure was a lower high, but wasn't a lower low. It was a candle of indecision. So this current candle is green, but it really hasn't done anything. So what I'm doing is risking very little here for some support off VWAP. Now we've got a 3-candle hold up at the volume weighted average price, but nothing really has rocketed up off that level. I've seen CPOP lose it before where it lures you in, so don't fall in love. Use hard stops at key levels. I'm gonna stop out if it drops below that 10 EMA, which currently is about $1.75. So that's what I'm looking at. We're going back to Adara.
Bloomberg here having a report about META, Meta Platform, suggesting that the company will be facing an EU finding, saying that it failed to police illegal posts. So Meta here reportedly set to face a finding from the EU with regards to illegal posts that Meta was reportedly not policing properly. Back to you.
All right, cool.
I can
oh yeah, sorry, I didn't know.
Right.
I didn't know. Yeah, it was,
So NUAI, Joey, continuing to move up here. Now showing 29s. It's on the way to 30. The high of the day is 34. It's got a bit of a head and shoulders pattern, inverse head and shoulders pattern, as I was saying, on the 5-minute. You can kind of see that a little bit. Right shoulder action here, left shoulder action. The problem is, though, I'm kind of seeing what I want to see there, because an inverse head and shoulder ideally should be preceded by a downtrend. There's no downtrend here. This was an uptrend, then it pulled back. So I think I'm seeing what I want to see there in any event. What I'm looking for, well, I was even saying that, is I'm looking for that move above $1.33. The reason I say $1.33 because these candles, sure, they wicked above that 130 area, but they all closed below it. So that's what I'll be keeping my eye on there. Let's go back to CPOP. As I see, this one's making a move into 90. We've got 85s on. I'm looking at wetting the beak here at 93. So if we can get another nice move on CPOP, possibly squeeze up to the high side. There's 92s. There's a seller of note at 92 that we can't shake right now. It's a hidden seller, and there it is, 93s. Now we're showing 95s. I'm waiting just in front of $2 here on CPOP. There it is, Joey. Now we're moving up quite nice. We're gonna wait at 02s right now on the poop one, and then we're gonna wait to see if we can get 10s, in and around 10. So now we're waiting north of 2 on CPOP. Good hold up off VWAP, but I've seen the bamboozle bit before. It lures you in with that first 5-minute candle to make a new high, especially, if it's at a key area of psychological support, the 2s, the 3s, the 4s. So we'll see if this one can clear 2. That will be kind of the deciding point of whether I add to this one. If it clears 2 aggressively and we can say, 2's in the rear view at the moment, then we'll get in. Otherwise, nah. So that's my look on that. And DVLT continues to trend up, so that pleases me. I'm waiting next at 97s and 98s. Here we go. We're showing 96. Don't forget, it's 97.5. That's the high of the day. But we're getting awfully close to clearing 96. If we clear that, we could easily see the dollar on DVLT. That will be what I'm looking for, Joey.
Okay. Okay, so yeah, I was just messaging Gorev. He said this thing. Unfortunately, my other platform doesn't have a 3-minute. So he's like, all right, yeah. So Gorev and I were both short this name right now. And then it's like, okay, Joe, I see this. And I'm like, oh, yeah, okay. So we have 3-minute here, but my other platform doesn't. And that's not a good sign. One thing that we can kind of keep in our favor right now is that the volume is slightly cool. But with the NAS and some of these bigger names starting to slowly grind higher, then it may not be time. I will give this trade multiple attempts. But the thing is, though, if I'm going to do that, I have to get out slightly premature to the break of this high, because I'll take too large of a loss for my current risk measures right now if that's going to be the case. So we're going to be patient as long as we can hold it. And that's the thing about standing in front of these freight trains like NVDA. You get this move right down to 86.80. They're like, yeah, you know what? No, see you later. We're going to continue this grind a little bit higher. So just hold these specific levels, and then I think we'll be okay. But other than that, if it decides that it wants to rip, then unfortunately we'll have to take that loss on that one. Tesla's still hovering around these areas, consolidating. We can probably add at the lower end of this range, and there it goes, right? So yeah, Gorev, I'm going to hop out of this, I think, here momentarily. going to take a little bit more of a loss, and then I'm going to get out because that's a big time squeeze. And yeah, I mean, all the signals were in our favor. You had the stopping volume. You had everything along those lines that we needed, but this is just a different beast. NVDA, yeah, well, I mean, I'm losing on it right now.
Okay.
Sure, yeah, but it's a different beast, right? And I mentioned it before. It will squeeze you out. It will do this fake out on multiple occasions before it does want to take that leg lower. But one thing to note, we did have a nice move. We didn't take anything off, and then now the chances of us are probably going to get stopped out are significantly higher than it was a little bit earlier.
All right, Joey, guess what? Exciting news for Canadian sophisticated traders. Beta Pro by Global X Canada has just announced 6 new triple leveraged ETFs. They're offering, guys, 3 times bull as well as 3 times bear exposure to the S&P TSX 60. You also get exposure to the semiconductors as well as U.S. Treasuries. And if you want even more, they've got more. They're offering a special fee rebate, dropping those management fees just down to 65 basis points, guys. That's all until New Year's Eve, December 31st, 2025. These ETFs, guys, they also employ currency hedging, and that seeks to neutralize the U.S. dollar exposure, which provides you performance that may more accurately reflect the underlying equity indices that you're in, not the Forex. So if you're a tactical, sophisticated trader and you're looking to amplify your performance, then it's incumbent upon you to check betapro.ca/3 times daily to learn more. Shout out to the great folks there at Global X Canada. All right, so we're still holding our positions over here. CPOP, yeah, is exactly what I thought it was going to do. Comes into 2, rejects. We did get a couple of beak wetters along the way. I'm going to pack my patience, but look at NU freaking AI go. There it is, taking out. It's into the high of the day. It's at $1.35 now. I'm going to continue to hold this. I want to see where exactly this one wants to end up going. I think we do have some room to move. I think possibly into the $0.50. There's the squeeze, 137 now. I think we've got 23s on UAI. Good strength on this name. Packing my patience to see whether or not we should be adding into this position. But this one's getting a little aggressive, Joey. We're taking out some levels here as we move into that 40 penny area. So that's my look there. Let's go back to our other friend here, DVLT. No, DVLT, don't do that to me, bro. Now it's back into my entry level at 91s. This is where I got out before. Yeah, let's see. Do we get out here? What's the situation? It's losing the 10, but it's lost the 10 before on a wick basis. So here's my move. I'm just going to put it at 89.5, the stop. That way, if it loses a 90 penny area, we get stopped out quick as you like, and we won't give up that much. Right now, we're flat on the remaining amount there on NUVI. So that's my look. Let's go back to CPOP. On that bad boy, we got 85s. It's showing me 84, so we're a little bit out of the money. This feels, though, Joey, like a flat bottom break waiting to happen. I ain't going to get caught in that flat bottom break. And typically what these ones end up doing, what I mean by flat bottom break, is this. Let me just bring in the side chart before we go to Adara. So area high, lower high, lower high, lower high. All the while, you're holding that same area of support. Essentially, in this case, it's $1.80 at the volume weighted average price. So these lower, not infinite, but multiple lower highs in a row with that same area low, sometimes, not all the time, is a recipe for a flat bottom break. My move on CPOP is if it gets and hold above 2, I'll get in for a possible move above the high of the day into 219. So that's my move on CPOP. Go ahead, Adara.
Yeah, I just want to let you guys know, Costco earnings tonight. We do have some infographics on X at TTV Research, including this one we just posted, breaking down Costco's iconic hot dog. So there's a lot of course, lore around this and the fact that the CEO has threatened to kill, or the former CEO and co-founder threatened to kill his successor if he ever raised the hot dog price. But also, it's worth noting the hot dog is not viewed to be actually profitable for Costco. Now, they don't release the numbers on that, but the company's longtime former CFO said that they really were not making much money on it. So if you want to read some fun facts about the Costco hot dog, including the Coke and Pepsi debacle, which one do they go with? I mean, you can find out. Check it out on X at TTV Research. Just a fun little blurb here. There will be another Costco, more earnings-specific infographic coming very shortly. Back to you.
I know you don't. I don't know. I know you don't drink that stuff.
What?
Coke or Pepsi? Maybe once in a blue moon.
I have Coke Zero every now and again.
Like, so that's what I was gonna ask you. Are you a Coke or a Pepsi guy?
I'll ask for Coke Zero.
Coke Zero. Coke Zero. If there's
What's
option.
the other one? Pepsi Max?
Something like that. I wouldn't even know.
I don't feel.
Yeah,
I feel like
really
not as many people have that.
The Pepsi Max. Yeah. Did you ever have the IKEA hot dogs, the 50-cent IKEA hot dogs?
Bro,
that's crazy.
Come on now, man. And how about the meatball?
Oh, the meatball. Yeah, everybody goes there.
Grande.
Hey, yeah,
Is it muy grande or más grande?
It depends. Yeah.
Okay, and then just muy grande means it's very big?
Yeah, very big. Yeah, masses. No more. All right, there we go. Gorev. Man. Come on, get out of here with that garbage, says our good friend. Get that garbage out of here. Yeah, it says our good friend, Jack Armstrong. Pew, 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 pew.
You think those things are actually made with meat, though, Joey?
The meatballs?
Yeah.
I don't want to know what's in them. That's like the hot dog, man. I don't. When was the last time you had a hot dog?
My old man's all about the chicken hot dogs.
Yeah,
so anytime
my grandpa used to love the chicken hot dogs. Yeah.
And Joey.
Yeah, this guy.
I don't want to out my old man. I love my old man.
Yeah.
But he boils them. Oh. There's no taste in those things. And his move is, I want the healthy. I'm like, bro, it's zero taste.
Man, it's zero.
It could be zero fat.
Put that on
but
the
it's
grill
zero
or something.
Taste. Nah, but I could put some condiments onto that bad boy, obviously.
Throw a little condiments on there.
I told him before, bro. Nobody wants boiled hot dogs.
Yeah. How much for you to drink the boiled hot dog water?
You want to start at Fort Knox?
What does that mean?
Like all of America's gold.
Yeah, all right.
Bro, that's never going to happen. It's zero health, Ricardo. Absolutely right. Convince him of that is a different story. Look, dude, he's a pharmacist, but he got his degree in the 60s. And I've tried to tell him many times, things have evolved since, you were taking chemistry and biochemistry and all that good stuff that you were learning. And he doesn't care. He doesn't want to exercise. He doesn't want to diet the right way. So I've given up.
Yeah. Hey, man.
I've given up.
He's been doing fine this whole time. So just let him rock and roll, I guess, a little bit there. There you go, guys. We got a nice little move down into NVDL. You run right into that 86.8 level again. We come back. We hold this neckline. I think I'm gonna add. I'm gonna add to the position there, Mr. Assassino. What are we doing? Trade. All right, guys. Did you know that instead of risking your own money, you can now trade with someone else's capital? No more fear of losing, no more moving your stop loss too soon, and you actually get enough capital to make it worth it. You can aim for big profits, not just a couple $100 a month. This is the revolution called limited risk trading, and it's powered by Trade the Pool. This is how it works. Join Trade the Pool, hit the profit goal, and keep 70% of the profits there, guys. All right. So check out Trade the Pool. 1 minute candle. Don't like it anymore, says Mr. Gorev. Yeah, we keep bouncing off of that base. I like that we're rejecting 180 though, right? So I'm going to continuously hold on to it. Excuse me. If we get an aggressive, like if I see the momentum start to pick up like here to the downside, I think this was a good add opportunity, but it would have kind of got me a little bit more nervous. But once we crack this 86.80 level, I'm going to add aggressively, and then I'm only going to look for about a 10 or 5 cent move to the downside and just get right out immediately on that pot because I have a feeling that it would bounce back relatively aggressively. So there it is. Boom. VWAP would be the ultimate dream. If we have the ability to hold this throughout all the way to VWAP streak, that's going to be a big time move considering that's 3 points away on NVDA, and that's also a little bit, it's exact same thing here on NVDL considering where our entry is at. So that would be a big time move. That would be super diamond hand. So let's see if we can bring that into fruition. I probably won't, to be honest with you. I'll take a little bit off at 86 if we can get there, and then leave a little bit of a runner just in case that VWAP may be in the mix, Sharif.
All right, Joey, I'm done my trade on NUAI. I was happy with how this one ended up going. We took profits at 40s. It's dropping a little bit now into the high 30s. We'll see if this one makes a new 5-minute candle, will make a new low. To do that, it's got to print 134. If it continues trending up and takes out 144, we're going to get back in. But I've been watching CPOP this entire time, right? And it's still putting in lower highs. Let me bring in the side chart for you guys because it's a lot easier to discern. on the black charts. Look at this kind of bull flag that it's got going for itself here, which is great. That's not a bad pattern to have on a small cap gapper. My concern has always been this area of support, this 180. It's going to give up the ghost, just given the fact that it keeps putting in lower highs. And the lower highs are just not something that I like pointing out for the sake of pointing out. It's telling a story, right? When you get area highs that you can't reach on a successive attempt, there's a reason for that. And part of the reason for that is there's more sellers. I sound stupid to say, but the sellers are outdoing the buyers in that case. And then when you see it repetitively like this, it just means the sellers are in control. So if you're a buyer and you're not a market mover, you're a market observer like myself, then there's nothing you can do to change this pattern until it changes. So that's what I've been watching. I've been watching it bounce off that 180 at volume weighted average price multiple times, only to notice that it's really unable to change trend with respect to the lower highs. So as much as I want to get back into this, as much as I see, you know what, bull pennant, bull flag, whatever, forming there off that $125 low, 219 high, as much as I still don't like the trend, and if that means I end up missing it a little bit, then I end up missing it. But look at DVLT breaking out to the high side. Fantastic look. And we still have shares on this one. There we go. We get the 97 print. It goes up to 99s, but, you know, true to form, we don't get the print. That's just kind of that's kind of the day. And that's not a fake print. I've got 99s up on my side chart as well as the high of the day. You see the wick there on the screen above that level. So let's go ahead and wait at 103. That obviously presupposes the breaking of the dollar, but here we go again, now moving up into 98s, 97 and 4/5 is where we're seeing the rejection. Now down, yeah, same thing, 4/5, we haven't even gotten to a quarter yet. So looking for continuation above 98. 98 gets me the print. If we get 98s, the next level after that, we're looking at 103. Yeah. So that's my move right now on DVLT. It's been a good stair step up kind of name. We've been taking prints on this one to no end. Initially got involved at 89, then we got again at 91. We'll keep getting in until it's warranted. Until it's not warranted, sorry. Death God, PEPG, Peppa Pig. Let's find out about Peppa Pig over here. PEPG is the ticker I'm talking about, guys. Oh, okay. Well, this one had a fantastic breakout in the aftermarket yesterday, Death God, but look what it's done. I mean, the pre-market highs haven't been taken yet, Death God. There's a double top at 7 3/4. The official market high, 6 1/3. Why is that? Even though we've been up here, well, those are pre-market highs. So a couple of rules here. We need to be above the volume weighted average price, which we marginally are by like a couple of pennies. But we also got to get above that 775. So I'm going to kind of insist that I wait to that level before getting in, but I do like the setup, so I'm going to put an alert at 7 1/3 so it can alert me if we do get into that area so that I can be ready to go for that 7 3/4 break. But thank you for pointing out PEPG. It's up a very respectable 123%, but that is from the aftermarket yesterday. So the closing print yesterday, guys, a little bit below, looks like 2 2/3, and then we're currently trading at basically $6. So great call out there. Thank you, Death God, for pointing that one out, and I'm going to keep tabs on it for sure. Shout out to the Death God.
Okay.
That's an ominous name, though.
Yeah, I think you said that was his gamer tag or something like that.
That's cool.
Regardless,
I'm okay with it.
I mean,
I like saying it.
Yeah, Death God, eh?
Yeah, yeah.
Do you know? Have you ever read the book Death Note?
Say again.
Death Note.
Death Note?
Yeah.
Is it a movie?
Yeah, it's a book too. Like a
I have
comic.
no idea.
Death
Dara's
Note.
giving you a round of applause.
A round of applause. Yeah, it's good stuff.
Knows what it is. Yeah.
It's essentially like a book, and if you write someone's name on it, then eventually they. Right, kind of like a final destination.
Oh boy, what happened?
Yeah, no, they made an anime of it, but like that was I guess the original. But they also did weirdly a musical apparently, which I mean I would love to see that. And then also there's apparently a terrible live action movie. So way too much.
No, I liked it, Derek. Come on, give it some credit. It's really good. Have you seen it?
Okay, I love Nat Wolf, but I'm not going to put myself through that.
Okay,
I'm sorry.
that's fair. That's fair.
Well, that's a statement right there.
Yeah, that's fair. I think it's pretty good. But I mean, when you have the originals of something and then you get the live action or whatever it may be, it's usually not as good.
I know
right?
you don't watch Seinfeld, but
No, I could. You know what?
Okay.
I'm trying to think of
it to a name of the movie that they talk about in the show called Death Blow.
Oh, yeah.
Any of the Seinfeld viewers
I think I would rather listen to multiple hours of nails on a chalkboard than watch Seinfeld.
Okay, Joe.
I mean, that's
made your point, bro.
Yeah,
made the point.
I mean, yeah, that's me personally. I know a lot of people don't like that take, but it's true. That's just how I feel. Telling you how I really feel. Yeah, guys. All right. So again, if we're gonna hold this for all the way to VWAP 177, you can see that it's really starting to track the price. If I get out now, we're just giving back a lot of unrealized as well too, but we're still positive on it. You can see this move here. We want to see this cool up and not kind of track price so aggressively. This could just be a 5-minute breath. There's still buyers fully engaged in this. So yeah, there you go. It's like, okay, you're heavily in the money, and then in a span of a couple minutes, it just bounces right back and you're essentially right back at break even. So yeah, that's the tough part about trading. You get this move. I talked about the break of this support level taking 5-10 cents. We didn't do that there, and you get that move about 15-20 cents lower. So let's see if we can hold the neckline, curl back over, and then potentially make a new low south of 86.5. But guys, with these shorts, lock in those profits when you can, because this market can rebound in a matter of minutes, right?
You got everybody talking there
about,
in the chat about Seinfeld. You got a lot of people with you. You got a lot of people against you.
Me. That's how it is, man.
Seinfeld, though, it kind of splits both ways.
I think it splits both ways for sure. Yeah, I mean, I know a lot of people. You know, Sharif, I didn't mind it. I told everyone in this store I didn't mind it until the fact that, like, my buddy, he had the DVD collection of it, and then, like, whenever we would fall asleep at night, he would never turn the TV off, and all I heard was the transition music, and eventually I just got so sick of it. I'm like, I can't listen to this stuff anymore.
That's kind of how I feel about Friends, because an ex of mine, when I stayed at her place, she always, like, that's how she liked to go to sleep. She'd run
put the
Friends
things on
in the background, and
crazy.
I never really liked it to begin with, and then I liked it less.
For
that exact reason.
Yeah,
so I can sympathize with you on that kind of thing.
I liked How I Met Your Mother more than Friends, and because that's what I watched in school. And
How I Met Your Mother?
Yeah.
It's okay. My old man.
I thought
MPH
was hilarious.
Yeah, well, I mean, I love MPH just because of Harold and Kumar, but I don't really watch too much of How I Met Your Mother. Guys, DVLT is breaking out. Yes. We got back. Well, we're still involved in this one in 91s. It's showing 2s. I've set my profit taker up at 3s. Here's 2. There's a large seller at 2 that we can't shake. It looks like it's a hidden seller, excuse me, because, we're not taking anything off the posted size at 2, and there's a ton of shares churning on the level 2. In fact, we're actually adding to the size there at 2s. Let's see if we can kind of take some off. That's what I'm keeping my eye on right now. I like DVLT. I like it a little bit more at 96 as well. If it dips back down, your boy's picking it up at 96. But I weaseled into NVDA again. I know we were done this trade, but I saw this one posting up quite nicely. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get stopped out. If it loses 34s, I'm out. I thought this was definitely going to trend. Let's see if it comes back into the 10 and holds up. We'll give back a little bit over here on NUAI if it does. So that's what I'm looking at right now. Shout out to Ryan Nola. Oh, baby. Dropping cash in the tack, $10. Thanks on LAC. Thoughts on LAC. C-Dog sent $20 super chat earlier. Appreciate you, brother. I am really sorry, man. I did not see that. I do apologize, Ryan. Let's take a look here at LAC. A name that I like, obviously, because we were trading it yesterday. Full disclosure, I'm in MP Materials. Just in my long term, ever since we took that, the government took that investment. Look, this is a multi-day runner, Ryan, and every day it's holding up trend. So there's the aftermarket move from Tuesday. We hold the actual move yesterday. We don't give it up, and we add to it today. It's a multi-day runner. I like it. It's at VWAP right now. Does it end up losing VWAP? We'll have to wait and see. But I can tell you, based upon yesterday's price action, it held up VWAP. And there's a reason why it's doing that, guys, right? As Michael Noss explained to us, there are traders that work at hedge funds that are basically they're basically judged on how well they do. If you're what's it called? What do they call those? Something managers. I forget the name. Anyway, if your manager at the hedge fund comes up to you as a trader and says, "Look, Joey, I need you to get me, I don't know, 2 million shares of LAC by the end of the day or by 3 days, whatever." How are you judged on whether you did a good job picking up that or not, right?
Yep.
So what they do is they juxtapose your average price that you got on the day relative to where VWAP is on the day. And if you're better than VWAP, or if you have a lower average price, if you're going long, they give you a check mark. If you're not, you get an X, right? So VWAP is a real thing that people use. So the fact that we held VWAP all day yesterday is by no accident. Let's see if we can kind of hold it up right now. We're straddling it right now, right above 7. I'd say look for area lows. I mean, clearly here 7's been bought up. If it loses 7, you don't risk too much. You're going long 707. But if you're asking me about the fundamentals of the company, I don't know too much other than what we've reported on the Thacker Pass project in Nevada, the investments that they got now from the U.S. government into that, as well as the U.S. government, the current administration's desire to want to have some sort of domestic production for lithium. We'll have to see if they can refine it. My understanding is it's likely going to be sent to Canada for refining, but that could change. So from a fundamentals perspective, I do like it. I like that shift to domestic supply. That's why I'm an MP, but there are others that are going to do well from that as well. So I hope that helps. As a day trade, I do like it above VWAP, but not much more to say than that. Joey, we took the print there on DVLT at 04s. We're still holding a piece, so we're going to let this one run. I'm going to put the next profit taker at 7s. So this one's been quite strong and quite systematic in the higher highs and higher lows. Let's see if it can stay above that $1. I'm involved in DVLT. Oh.
All right.
I like it.
Yeah, there we go, man. Assassino, can we pull up the old screen? I sound like a team, man, I feel like. But yeah, I mean, this is what we're talking about, right? So one thing on the 5-minute, this thing's strong. We have so many things in our favor. And if you have the opportunity to build in, hopefully that you can do so. Not everything is going to work out the same, unfortunately, but if we crack this low, I'm going to start to take some off. What do we have here? Consistent lower highs. We like this, okay? So what do we have? We're like, all right, we want to build into more. We want to put in more risk on this trade. We have so many things working in our favor. And I told Gorb, I'm like, my stomach's going right now, right? Like, that's just the nature of trading. So we get in, realize that it's starting to work out, we go in full size, and then we add drastically more right here just to get that breakthrough, that specific level, and let's go, man. Like, let's go. I'm going to take a little bit off because, again, pigs get slaughtered, right? We don't want to be too greedy. We'll take a small amount off. Bang. There it is. A nice chunk out of our earlier losses. Now let's see if we can. Now I'm back to my original size. You can see, oh my days, why couldn't I wait a couple more seconds? Let's go. And that usually typically how it works. I seen Katina, man, got really up and close to the mic, the camera this morning. I always wanted to do that. I'm glad that he did that. So when the opportunity is right, maybe we'll look to take advantage. But yeah, again, I just took a large amount off. It is what it is. And this thing is tanking. This thing is tanking. Let's go. I'm really happy with that ad. Again, we're not going to get too worried about the fact that we took a little bit off. We're just sticking fundamentally. That's just the narrative of the game, right? You take it off too soon. You didn't get out too early. So I think a big important lesson with the overall market is just be happy with what you got. All right, and I think that's a lot of things in life as well too, right? Because you got to think that there's someone around that has a red day, unfortunately. Chances are that someone's blown up their account and all those things, and you're like, oh, I wish I made more money. Just be thankful and grateful for some of the things that we got. All right, so we got all out of Tesla as well too. Not too bad of a trade, boom, boom, boom. And then we get out at the break even. I did take some more off at that continuous fail at the break of the volume weighted average price. And I left a little bit of a runner just in case that we wanted to take a move higher. But yeah, there goes Ethereum officially right back into the bear market territory. We're down 20% off of that all-time high in Ethereum now. And if we crack a little bit lower, we're going to be heading into 3,900 and et cetera. So yeah, it's in full effect. If you have the ability, you want to slowly start to allocate some. Down 20%, I think that's when you want to start grabbing some names, right? You want to start grabbing these high quality names in the likes of Amazon, etc. So yeah, let's see. We got multiple breakouts to the long side and to the downside. Thankful for this NVDL trade. If we hold our size right now to VWAP, then we will turn green. Unrealized, we're just relatively flat, but that's not what we're here for. We're not here to come out flat at the end of the day. We don't get butterflies in our stomach for no reason. We're trying to put on good trades. Adara, what do you got for us?
Keep an eye here in Corteva, CTVA, this one dropping. I'm seeing this is being attributed to the fact that apparently the DOJ and the U.S. District Attorney are probing into antitrust violations by suppliers of crop inputs. CTVA reportedly trading lower on sympathy here. Back to you.
Thank you, Adara.
Yeah, you got anything? I'm going to go to the washroom
I got it.
Cool?
Pardon me?
I'm going to go to the washroom quick, yeah?
Yeah, absolutely, bro. Just make sure to take the hall pass out.
Yeah. Is there, do we have one?
Yeah, it's at the door.
Oh, okay.
I'm playing. All right, guys, AIIO breaking out. Shout out to Gotham House. Yeah, good call out there, brother. This is a really good looking one, and you're getting an increase in the volume profile midday here with the largest volume candle coming at 25 afternoon. So it's 43 now, so that wasn't too far away. Let's throw in the ticker there. AIIO is the name of the bad boy that we're looking at there. You couldn't get the hall pass? All good, bro, all good. So that's what we're keeping an eye on there. AIIO, shout out to the OG Bovin talking about NUAI as well. We're going to have to take off LASE here for AIIO because that one's earned its way onto the side chart. And let's load it up on a trading screen as well and get a gander of what the time and sales looks like on this bad boy. Is it on the NQ? The answer to that is yes. An emphatic yes. Let's see what we got over here. Great look. There's certainly going to be support at 230 if it does come back down into 230, but that's a whole lot of room for it to drop. Now, here's the deal. $0.50 psychological support. We're showing 61, so that's 11 pennies south of where we're trading. 10 EMA on the 5, sitting 5 pennies lower than the $0.50, 245. We got currently on the 5-minute setup anyway, we have starting from 12:15 onwards, every single candle has higher highs and higher lows, with no exception, this candle included. So I don't know if you guys were able to notice, but I've changed my layout a little bit. Top screen is the 1 minute, bottom screen is the 5. We're gonna do that for all of them now so we can kind of get a multi-time frame view for executing. I think it helps a little bit with the scalping to have the 1 minute since I've got the 5 second on the top. So this is a great call out here, AIIO. Shout out to Gotham House, but I don't want to execute on it quite yet because, well, it's just a little extended. So I'm going to wait for it to set up. I'd like to see something possibly into the $0.50. Now, obviously, there is the chance that it continues to go. The other strategy here is to try to pick it up often a little bit higher than an area low. So what do I mean? So we just opened up a new 5-minute candle, right? So the one at 12:45. But look at the candle at 12:40. I'm talking about this candle right here, this candle. So if you were to pick it up, say maybe 256, 257, that would be the lower end of a candle with a higher low, right? Because if you're going to hold that pattern, the higher low pattern, then you've got to hold above 254 because that's the low of the previous candle. So we can try that, right? And then that way we don't have to risk that much because if it makes a new candle to make a new low, well, you just get out and you've risked about 3 pennies to make, I don't know, 30. So let's give that one a try. We've got a 264 high, show me 260s. So I'm going to put an order here for the mid 50s. I'm going to go 56, which is obviously a little bit higher than I want, but that's the look. So AIIO looking to set up on this one, 260 current, 264 high. Right. But let's go back to DVLT. Look at this one go, Joey. Yeah. We just wet the beak there at the high of the day again. DVLT. We still have shares on this one. Yeah. Let's let it run. It's about 64% and change right now in Greensville. I'm going to let this one run and see what comes of it. And then I also want to point out sea crap over here. I'm talking about sea poop. Look what it did. Look what this hot garbage did. It pops up, clears clears all the prior bar highs, and then actually ends up closing red, and now is right back into that volume weighted average price. There's certainly a buyer here at $1.80, and there has been essentially since we got into it at 12 o'clock. But bamboozlement on this one. Unreal. It takes out all the prior bar highs and then ends up closing the candle red. So be careful with CPOP. I've seen this one hurt feelings before. Tell them who we're talking here to, Joey.
We got BTCC, guys. All right, 14 years, 0 hacks, 0 excuses. BTCC.com delivers when others don't. Why, with smart copy trading, you don't just watch the pros, you trade like them. Regulated in the USA, Canada, and Europe, trusted by 6.8 million traders. Trader TV Live exclusive. Scan the QR code, click the link in the description box. A 15% deposit bonus, BTCC, where the pros trade and now so can you. Were you messing with me with the hall pass?
Bro, I thought you were playing around with the sarcasm.
Yeah,
like,
well,
I'm sitting there telling you I got a hall pass, and you answered me in a way like that you were serious. Yeah. And I'm sitting there thinking, like, he's really good at playing along, bro.
Well, no,
like,
bro.
Dara would be proud.
Well,
like the fact that you actually thought I was serious.
No. Well, I thought there was like a tag there on the door.
Ain't no way.
Yeah. I'm like, there was
bro.
crazy. No, I thought you were serious, but I'm like, hey, what you meant by hall pass? I thought you meant like, hey, there's an actual
that kind of
portable
thing.
Well, no, with like a tag on the door, and I'm like, all right, yeah, cool, that's convenient. We got a little portable one on the thing, and then now I'm just sitting there. Everybody's making fun of me. They're like,
options.
They're like,
What's going on?
They're like, the hall pass is crazy. It's crazy, and I'm like, wait, this guy really was messing with me.
Yeah, dude,
that's wild,
right,
man. All good.
Shout out to my man, bro. Right. No, I'm playing, of course.
Yeah.
No, Joey, but it's almost like as if we need a hall pass now, because right now, so you guys can't see everything, but the studio that we're building out obviously is freaking big. It's the old studio with obviously the trading floor that used to be behind us, but we need to manage everybody who comes in here. So there's, you got to tap to get into the door.
Tap.
So there was always that, but they would leave the door open so we could get in and out. Now it closes automatically. It's got a hinge on the top. So literally every time we leave, we have to have our phones or the fob to get back in.
I gotta send
so it's very much like a hall pass.
I gotta send my thing over to Bobandy. Where is he? Is he in the back there? 'Cause I have the physical, but now. Yeah, Randy, I know. I got to send you my thing because I have the physical, but I think it'd be easier if I just bring my phone because those things are attached to the hip on
Randy,
us anyways.
Joe thought I was serious when I told him he needs a hall pass to go to the bathroom.
Well, no, it's not that I thought that I needed a hall pass. I thought that you were referring to there's like a fob there that you can bring with you. This guy, all right, yeah, that's insane.
I love this guy, bro.
I had an order out for ETHA that's full. So I had shares on this one, averaged $27, went up to $37. We took some off, but now we're completely out of our shares. Our shares in Ethereum. Okay. We're still sitting on some A contract, so we're all out of Ethereum. And now this is probably where it's going to bounce, obviously. But yes, we are all out of our shares of Ethereum.
Okay.
Tom Lee.
You're out?
I'm out, brother.
You're
not
out.
In the LT, in the swing, in the swing. Yeah, in the swing. Yeah. No, I'll be grabbing more. Yeah. I'll be grabbing some more. Yeah, guys, on this pullback in the crypto space, full disclosure, it's not been pretty. Like, giving back quite a bit of unrealized in the account there, around probably $3-4 grand, which is I mean a month right there. So yeah. All you can do is really chuckle about it and look to get back involved at some point. But yeah, it sucks, man.
Well,
it's the reality of trading. Yeah,
100%. And like I saw where he was at, right? Yeah. I saw how much unrealized he had. Yeah. The fact is, the matter is, he didn't want to take profits because he has a goal, and like you got to admire that, man.
Yeah, it didn't work.
It doesn't always work though, Joey.
Yeah,
and like if you think that's going to work every time, I mean, it's the wrong business.
Like the intention was to hold it for like another couple of months for the remainder of the year, but it was literally essentially the worst case scenario in which would happen, and that's a 20% pullback heading you into the bear territory. I think it's still a good opportunity to buy, but I had to just close the position considering average 27, and we're trading now at $29. So take that, be thankful for it, and look to get into it on another opportunity. All
right, guys. AIIO, we got in at 56s. We're gonna flatten out here. It broke trend. I'm in it for the trend, so we're gonna flatten out. We take a penny share per loss there on AIIO. I'll get back in if it holds up at the 10, okay? But what I want to focus on now, DVLT, we have the high of the day at 107. That's not what I'm telling you. I'm back into C poop because this one is starting to show me that I think the buyers at 180 are kind of overwhelming the sellers a little bit here. Now, the sellers are still in control above 2, but I think the buyers are certainly in control at 180. So I got in at 187. I've wet the beak there all the way up to 197. I'm looking for a move past 2. So my next beak wetter is going to be 202. We've got good shares on here, so we can continue to scalp, but CPOP, it's just there's way too much buying at 180 for me to be convinced that, you know, the buyers are going to get easily outdone by the sellers. Like, look at this, man. We have been defending that level since 12 o'clock. Oh, crap. It's almost 1 o'clock. We have to start the news soon. But, yeah, so I'm holding CPOP here for a move back above 2. And if I look a little bit deeper, I see some higher lows here off VWAP. That's not really what I'm basing the entire trade on, though. Oh, no. AII. Oh, don't do that to me, you little... Right back up, Joey. That's crazy. Yeah, it's a dirty dog. That's exactly what it is. Okay, so I'm going to continue to watch here. Yeah, I may have executed a little bit too early on AIIO to get out of that, but I really wanted to focus on the others. But yeah, look at that rocket right back up, man. Silly boy. Silly boy.
Bro, look what Jag said in the chat.
What'd he say?
So Jag's like, hey, another reason why I can't never, aside from that, he's like, I remember when they were handing out Bitcoin as a promo at Dundas.
What?
He said, he said, anyways, he's like, I remember when they were giving out Bitcoin for free as a promo at Dundas Square.
I don't know what Dundas Square is. You mean Sankofa Square?
Yeah, I don't even know what that is, brother.
I'm never gonna call it that. I'm just
Ever.
saying, yeah. I'm just pulling your. Did they actually? When is this?
I don't know. I get it
2011?
had to been somewhere around that neck of the
Jag,
woods.
what year was this, brother? Like
brother.
you're talking like
You gotta give us
2012,
details,
2011,
man.
right? Like
Gotta give us
Jag, I'm pretty
details.
sure. Because I do remember it around that time, Joey, when it was like a couple of $100. I do vividly remember it around that time.
I don't know if I could live with myself being that one guy who gave a buddy like 20,000 Bitcoin for a couple pizzas, and then after
I know that guy that did that. Yeah.
you actually know him, or like you just, or like you know him, or
No, I online.
Oh, okay, yeah. You know who I'm talking about. Yeah.
Who bought Domino's?
Yeah, he bought Domino's.
Right?
Yeah, he bought
Everybody knows
Domino's.
that guy lives in. He's like a folklore guy. Unreal.
Like, imagine that. You know what's funny? A guy when I was a bunch of my roommates and another kid who went to Guelph University.
Yep.
He was doing, he was doing not so legal stuff. He lived
10 or earlier.
Yeah. He lived a little bit down for us, and he was just collecting Bitcoin, doing his illegal operations, and then eventually it all got seized from him.
No.
But he had like tens of thousands of Bitcoin, brother.
You're kidding.
Yeah. It was crazy. It was crazy. I don't know what I would do, man. Or if your girlfriend threw out your USB that had like 50,000, that'd be. Brother, that's more than a fight. Like, I'm gone. I'm new number, everything. Like, adios. I'll never speak to you again, ever.
I know a buddy. Okay, so I don't know if this is true or not. And to me, like, some parts of the story don't ring true, Joey.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to say him by name, obviously, but he had a USB, like one of those cold storage.
Yeah, the cold storage.
Yeah, and then apparently he forgot the password.
Yeah. Oh, and he only had so many attempts.
Yeah, and he had one more attempt, and then he couldn't find it. And then he found it, and then apparently he had switched it. In this part of the story, he added later that he had switched it from BTC into something else at the time, so it wasn't worth nearly as much. Because this guy, literally, in 2018, took a stack of about 60 grand cash, went over, because it was not the same way to buy BTC at the time, right?
Yeah.
Went to one of those places where you could buy Bitcoin, dropped the cash, got all of it on the cold storage.
Wow.
And then basically... he was looking to sell it at that time.
Yeah.
And then obviously it went down. So he thought he took the hit and he wasn't as motivated to try to find the USB drive. But when I asked him about it, as it was making its way back into all-time highs, the story started changing a little.
Oh, yeah. So once it starts changing.
I felt like maybe I never really got the full story to begin with.
He's pulling your leg there, I think, a little bit, maybe.
We'll see.
Have you ever, you see the Bitcoin ATMs around the city, right?
All the time.
How does that work? Like, if I want to go in there and buy.
Drop fiat and it gives you Bitcoin.
But how do you receive the Bitcoin is what I'm getting at.
I'm assuming it probably goes into a cold storage. Like, I don't know how the cold storage work. Is it like a number that it's sent to?
Well, the cold storage is just something outside of the internet. It's just like it'll go into your wallet, but you can put your wallet on the USB drive.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm pretty sure that's how it works.
I've never actually used the cold storage, so I'm not really sure. All right, guys, CPOP is coming back into that $2. What's going on, Randy? How are you? How's everything? Good. Keeping her busy back there? Yeah, good.
QR code on your phone.
Oh, no, Joey, look what C-Poop did.
Oh, are you in it?
Oh, no.
Bang, bang.
There it goes, Joseph Options. C-Poop to the high side, 234 high. We got 87s on now. Let this one run. Where does C-Poop want to go? C-Pop is what I'm talking about, obviously, guys. I'm going to go ahead and wait at 250, all right? It wants to make its way up to 250. We'll entertain it. Otherwise, we'll just let it come all the way back down into 180 and we'll add more. CPOP, boom, to the high side. Looking real good over here. All right, man, up 55%. I'm happy that I had the compunction to get back in at the 80s. To me, there was way too much buying at the 80s for me to, continue with the thesis of a flat bottom break. And I think especially that move back into 2 that failed, I'm talking about this initial move that failed over here, was kind of the alert that maybe the buyers were stepping in. So we'll see. Madam, hopefully not to the, hopefully not, brother. No, we're not going to do that on this show. So 2 positions right now, guys. We're holding DVLT and CPOP. We'll see what this one goes. Nice. Joey Options, you ready for the
Yeah, I'm ready. Let's pull up the screen here one more time and see what we got going on. So from an unrealized standpoint, we went from red to green. That's unrealized. And that was just a monster. It's been a monster short so far. I don't know if we're going to get all the way to VWAP, but it looks like it does want a steady bleed, so we'll continuously hold on to this. I'm going to take the majority of it off if we do establish a new low, and then I'll leave a little bit for the dream running into the volume-weighted average price, so that worked out. We'll do a quick trade review as Sharif's setting up. So we got the NVDL short, and then we took the 2 attempts on the crypto crapo over here, and that's going to be ibit, and you take the 2 losses on that one, and we were substantially larger, right? Like, you're putting on a couple of lots.
Are you muted?
No.
You're not muted, right?
No, why?
Why was John Tantrum says you were muted? Okay.
Dude, am I muted? Can you guys hear me?
Assassino would have told you. He would have told you.
Okay, John, yeah, maybe. No, John, you know what? You might be a little bit back, right? Make sure you have the live aspect.
Hit live on
Yeah, make sure you hit live because we're doing it that way. All right. I think that's what we had on IBIT, the 2 losses. And then we got that nice move up here on Tesla. But as for that, we're just sitting in this NVDL short there. Ready to rock and roll, Sharif.
Adair, you good to go? Okay. All right, guys. Each year, sadly, 3.8 million concussions are reported in the United States, yet there is still no FDA-approved treatment. NYSE-listed Origenics trading under ticker OGEN is changing that with its first-in-class intranasal drug designed for rapid brain access. And with the concussion treatment market projected to reach about $8.9 billion by 2027, Origenics is uniquely positioned to lead the way, guys. So if you're interested in learning more and schedule a meeting, go ahead and check out Origenics. Shout out to the folks at OGen. All right. UWU. Shout out to BJO. BJO. What's NOK again? Norwegian kroners? Yeah, thank you, Adara. Let's check out quickly before we start the news, Joseph Options over here. We're going to check out UWU. I don't know if that's a ticker. No. I don't know what that means. I don't know if that's some gaming thing or. But I'm 100, and so I likely will not know what that means. I don't know, but
there's this behind it as well, too, so I don't know what that really means either. Overcook.
I have no idea.
Overcook, undercook.
I have no idea. I have no idea.
All right. I appreciate that.
It's a coin, people are saying. BP says it's a coin.
UWU. That's all right.
Norwegian crown, indeed. Kroner.
I'll pass on the UWU.
Well, he super chatted. So
well, I mean, like buying it. They're saying it's a coin. I'm not.
Well, we'll take a quick gander here. UWU coin. Unicorn UWU, is that what it is?
Yeah,
Coin market cap. Can we get the chart on this thing?
What's it up to?
So this is intraday. This is 1 day. Okay, are we able to do intraday or no? It doesn't look trading. There we go. That's what I want to see.
Okay.
Thank you. Reject all coin. Okay, so then we can go. No, No, but it's a crypto, I think. Isn't it Assassino or no?
Yeah.
This is a 1 hour. Really?
Terrible. People
I wouldn't play with that, says Mike PD Rider. Yeah, I don't really get into the altcoins. We can look at it for him, though. So this is obviously, it's an emoji. Okay, what? I have no idea.
I have no
but there
idea,
is a ticker called, a coin called UWU. It's called Unicorn. In any event, thank you for the super chat. If you want to tag me or Joe, let us know what you're looking at. It's a weeb furry thing, was trying to be funny. Sorry, bro. I told you I'm 100. I don't know these things that you're going to have to tell me. I apologize. Thank you very much, BJO, for the 20 Norwegian kroners. I appreciate you, my guy. Very kind of you. All right, guys. As an emoticon should represent a feeling of delight at seeing something cute or adorable. Thank you. I know for next time now. I do appreciate you. Ostentatious Productions, how do you feel about QLGN at the moment? It reached 608. We're going to quickly look at QLGN for the OG there.
Oh, okay, bang. There we go. Oh, no.
Yeah, it's below VWAP, brother, but it did have a big move up yesterday. This one caught me offside. It had another move up today, and it's also starting to give it back to the downside. So it looks like a bit of a downward channel, lower lows and lower highs. Be on the lookout for that. It's also trading below the volume weighted average price, so just under my own system, my personal system, I wouldn't be getting into it as a long, but there's a range that you can play here, clearly. There's a lower support line that seems to be finding support every time with that upper support line, which is doing the exact opposite. So I would play the ranges. If you want to do that, obviously you could also wait until a decided break above 610, which changes the lower high trend, and then you could be changing trend possibly to the high side. That's how I would look at that. Quickly, before we go on, I see that CPOP got into 242 high a day. Let me just move my screen over here to this one, and then we can kind of look at CPOP super quick. Yeah, so this one is losing the bid a little bit over here. So we didn't quite make it up to 250. I put it at 250. It's coming back into a quarter. I'm going to flatten this one out, but I want to let you know that AIIO is also running. I just took out area highs, and it's into the high of the day now. 264 area high, AIIO on the NQ up 30%. So that's what I'm looking at. Let's now start the news. I promise we're starting this time. Intel eyes Apple for potential investment. So this is very interesting. It seems like as if more and more companies are all starting to invest into Intel, likely a big shift to the domestic production push that we've seen with the current administration. So according to reports, Intel has approached Apple for a potential investment as part of efforts to stabilize and revive its struggling chip business. We are talking about the foundry business. They make chips. They're trying to make chips for people who design it. Discussions also include the possibility of a closer collaboration between the companies, though talks are at the early stages and may not materialize into any deal. What those collaborations could be was not disclosed in the article. The Apple talks follow, obviously, a $5 billion investment by NVIDIA, as well as SoftBank, who threw $2 billion their way, as well as the U.S. government, taking a 10% stake in Intel. So lately, it's been a lot of good news in terms of direct investment into Intel, but not so much in the form of good news in the product sense. We're still waiting for that to materialize. Intel's foundry strategy started under the previous CEO, Pat Gelsinger, once envisioned as, sort of a core growth pillar for the company. It's really struggled to attract outside clients. And so Lip Bhutan, the new CEO, he said, look, man, we'll roll it out if we get people to buy it. Currently, we don't have any buyers, so we're not going to go full throttle into the foundry business. Specifically, we're talking about the 18A and 14A nodes. very similar to the 3 and 2 nanometer by Taiwan Semi, but not as good, obviously. Otherwise, you'd have AMD and Intel or NVIDIA using it. Joey, Apple used to obviously use Intel for their Mac chips, but they started using their own custom silicon back in 2020. We're talking about the M1, the M2, and now the M3. Apple also bought most of Intel's modem chip business back in 2019, but it's largely moved away from any Intel dependency. And while Apple, Joey's unlikely to return to using Intel chips onto its devices, a financial deal between the two companies could help expand Apple's domestic, U.S. specifically, investment. We know that's very important to the current administration.
Yeah, it's extremely important. And we talk about Donald Trump taking a stake in Intel. My issue with this name is that you have some of these hyperscalers and everybody buying chips hand over fist, and Intel hasn't been participating on that front. I mean, they got the NVDA investment as well too, looking into this Apple one. But if you just go back into the history of Intel, and someone else mentioned this, we mentioned this a couple of times, aside from the breakout that we experienced on the NVDA news, it's been dead money for 20 years, essentially, almost at that point. And again, in this AI boom, and you're not participating, I think it's going to be a little bit tough. But can you play the catch-up trade? I think one of the bigger issues here with Intel is obviously, as Sharif mentioned, is that they just have a hard time gaining customers. And now's not the time, especially if, I don't know, if people think things are going to cool off or the bulk of this buying of some of NVIDIA's chips is done. They're just really, really late to the dance, and it's unfortunate that a company like Intel hasn't been able to participate in such a massive, massive fundamental shift in AI and all these chips and everything along those lines.
All right, Joey. Adira, this is, I mean, I can't say I'm super surprised. I kind of figured there would be more companies investing into Intel, Adira, to kind of meet the whole push by the current administration. But I really can't wrap my mind about what they're going to use Intel for. It's
weird. It's really weird. It's just generally like what I would say. Now, if you look here, though, actually on this, again, going to plug X at TTV Research. This is an older infographic, I think, from like a couple months ago. But either way, at one point, Apple was going to be, using their processors. Like, the companies do have a history. It goes back 20 years. And, in Intel's case, multiple CEOs. But there is some history there. So I think maybe that's why Lip-Bu Tan would make this choice. One thing I do want to say, though, in defense of Lip-Bu Tan, I said this to Neil yesterday in the market recap. He's been in there for I don't even think a full 6 months, maybe just around 6 months now, and he is trying to make change. Now, we'll have to see if there's actually anything that comes of all of this, but he's a lot more active than Pat Gelsinger, who, of course, was his predecessor, and we know that Lip-Bu Tan did not like how Pat was running things because he left the board a couple months before Pat Gelsinger was ousted. So it's an interesting look. Now, again, Apple, other than this weird ancient connection between the companies, it is a weird choice. I will fully give everyone that. At this, I have to say to Lip-Bu, But I trust that there's some kind of strategy. And again, the report was pretty vague. The one last thing I want to say, Sharif. So Apple, we know with the golden apple, they're chilling with the Trump administration. Tim Apple and Donald Trump are having a great time. But we also know that Intel and Apple have a relationship. So this could probably be something I think that the Trump admin would really look, nicely upon. Are these two companies working together? So I think if Apple were to look for a reason to get involved, this could be a compelling one.
And again, I mean, I don't want to crap on Intel, but people have tried their product. They've passed on their product, their latest product, in terms of foundry business. So unless Apple's taking a second look, maybe begrudgingly, again, I can't wrap my mind on what they need them for. And we know they've also left Qualcomm, Adira, because now they're making their own modem chips as well as their own Wi-Fi chips. And guess who's making that? Taiwan freaking Semi. It is not Intel. We'll see if they switch. I like your take, Adira. We'll see exactly how this ends up going. Guys, I want to let you know that CPOP is continuing to go here, guys. It took out 250, 261 high of day. It's up 75%. It's awfully strong. It's generally holding trend. There hasn't been too much in the way of bamboozlement on this one, but it could rear its ugly head at any time. That's the nature of small cap gappers. Let's go on to the next story. Open Door and OfferPad both pop on housing data and Jane Street stake. So we told you yesterday about the third largest shareholder of Open Door selling up a storm over multiple days. Well, here's another company, institutional level company, buying up a storm. Who are these people? They're called Jane Street Group, and they disclosed a 5.9% stake in Opendoor, which equates to about 44 million shares, reinforcing, that strong bullish momentum. We've been talking about Opendoor, at least at the time of the writing of this article, was up 414%. August new home sales, one of the reasons Opendoor was moving up, hit 800,000 units. That's up 20.5% year over year. That is unlike this country where new home sales are still trending down. Multiple reasons. Median price for those new homes climbed to 413,500, boosting the margins, obviously, for these iBuyers. So it's a good look here for Opendoor, Joey, whether you're looking at it from the macro perspective in terms of housing and how that could help their business, or whether you're looking at institutional level involvement in the name.
Yeah, I think they're both good, right? At the end of the day, the rate cuts are obviously better. It's going to obviously stimulate the home the home sector. So I think that's okay, especially if they're going to come in with a couple more cuts throughout the year. But I mean, as for this name, this is insane. So as of July, I mean, this thing was 80 cents. I don't see. For me, I have a hard time thinking that okay, you're going to go on this massive run, but the proof is in the pudding. It's displaying this. Can it be sustained? Only time will tell, right? I wouldn't be surprised. You get this move from this peak right here, 1090. You get that move lower, that's 36%, and then you bounce right off of this key level right here. So at $7 essentially. So it's not too bad of a look. Would I be buying this name all the way up here? Probably not. I would wait for things to cool down, considering it's almost essentially moving against the market today. It's relatively weak. I mean, it's kind of correlated with it, I guess, now that I'm looking at it. You have the initial sell-off, but for me personally, I'm not chasing Opendoor up here. Rate cuts are good for this name, and just keep an eye out just in case you do get that rug pull effect, because people have been talking about it as it's a meme stock. So we got to wait for some more earnings reports to see how this is actually going to play out.
I agree. Interesting look today, Dara. Some institutional buying after some institutional selling. Anything that you're hearing maybe on Twitter or any of the other alternative channels?
With Opendoor? Yeah, I mean, I think I've been following this. I think the culture there has gotten, as I've said, a little bit more tense with regards to X, because Eric Jackson is now viewed as his loyalties are being really split. This was the guy that really caused Opendoor to rally to the upside, and then he backed BETR, and now people are kind of like, you can't really do both. It's really bizarre, but he was already kind of a polarizing figure on X and in the Opendoor world, and I think it's only become more so since that happened. Generally, though, Sharif, I got to tell you, when the stock's up, the Opendoor bulls are all smiles.
I bet.
So there's not too much on that side of things. I would love to know Jane Street's case for this long. I am legitimately very curious about that. And I do have to say a moment of silence for Martin Shkreli, who got out of his short at probably the worst moment. He got out right before it had that dump. Obviously, now it's come back up a bit, but he would be profitable had he still held. Right now, Sharif, he would be in the money.
I'm still convinced they hire this guy so that he could short and everybody could trade.
Honestly, that would explain a lot. I'm not going to.
Why is he shorting something that he has no idea? Anyway, I'm not going to ask you to speculate. Thank you, Adair, for that. Apple pushes back against the European Union's Digital Markets Act. Yeah, we've heard Donald talk about this. He doesn't like it. A lot of other companies, they don't like the DMA either. Let's talk about what Apple's angle is on this. So Apple formally requested the European Commission to repeal, I glitched, to repeal or significantly scale back the DMA, claiming it creates unnecessary burdens and undermines their competitiveness. Apple argued the best way to fix the damage is just to repeal the whole law and the specific provisions, saying the act threatens innovation and puts U.S. companies at a disadvantage. I wonder why they'd be doing that. The company also suggested that enforcement should be moved on to an independent agency to avoid the political interference that comes with the DMA. You can't be judge and jury and prosecutor all at once, and that's kind of what's happening here, according to Apple. But there is more to this than between Apple and the EC, the European Commission. It's a bigger thing between the United States and Europe. The DMA has become a flashpoint between the U.S. and Europe, especially after President Trump's return to Washington. Trump previously criticized the European regulators for issuing multi-billion euro fines against U.S. tech giants, calling them basically a hidden tax on American companies. The EU's pushed back, saying it will apply the DMA rules consistently, whether the company is American or from Zimbabwe. I'd like to see that but before I believe it. Apple warned, though, the DMA forces redesigns of its core products. Specifically, it's concerned with the live translation tools that now we have on the AirPods Pro and Apple Intelligence, the iPhone mirroring with other devices, as well as the map features, which rely on user data. All that may weaken product security if they have to follow the letter of the law from the DMA. And here's the European Union's stance on enforcement. They've made it clear they do not intend to repeal the DMA. Whatever lobbying efforts Apple is throwing their way, Apple's already faced fines totaling nearly 500 million euros, about 587 million US dollars for non-compliance, and continues to negotiate with the EU officials. The DMA, listen to this, bro. The DMA allows fines of up to 10% of global revenue for your violations. Tell me you're broke without explicitly telling me you're broke. Tell me you have no revenue from companies with AI without telling me you have that.
Well, they got it now.
They got it now through this. We've joked about this. There's one decent company out of Europe that has AI as its focus, and it's Mistral. And that's it. I don't really know any. ASML makes ultraviolet lithography, which sure is a little bit involved in that. But I'm talking about, LLMs and features, software, etc.
Yeah, it's unfortunate that they have to kind of take this route. It's not a good look, and it's the same thing. Like, why would you even want to do business here? At the end of the day, right? So with the digital tax, I know Germany slapped them and things changed there. We were looking to do the exact same thing, and then Mr. Carney himself is like, you know what? That's probably not the best idea considering some of these trade talks. But as for Apple, a drop in the bucket, I think they'll be fine at the end of the day. They're going to continue to have billions of phones on the planet, whatever it may be, and the growth within the iPhone 17 is starting to display itself. Again, we talk about super cycles, etc. The lineup's out the door, and we haven't seen that for quite some time, so that's not too bad of a look there for Apple. Aside from this, it's a drop in the bucket. They're going to waive that. It's nothing to be overly worried about. It's not going to break their wallet or anything along those lines, but NVDL there, Sharif. Bang. Yeah. It's still going, man. Everything was connected. Everything, we had all of the signs there displayed. So it might be hard to see some of these, entry, add it up, add even more right there, and then we slowly start to piece it up as we get closer. To the volume-weighted average price. All right, yeah, we can we do it up here?
Do you have it, SSC?
Do we have it up there on the thing there, or no?
I can get it.
No? Okay.
Yeah. I got it, brother. Don't worry about it. I got you.
All right, cool. Yeah, so there goes NVDA right back into VWAP, man. Let's go. So guys, make sure you vote. Get those dollar signs in. There it is. LAC is leading the way. It seems to be the case today, Sharif.
Get those votes in,
Yeah, get those votes in. LAC leading the way. Get those votes in. Make sure you guys participate. And with that being said, we have that up there. We're going to talk a little bit about participation. I'm going to participate and take some more out of some of this NVDA short.
Good job, Joey.
So yeah, it was a nice little trade. Was heavily red in the morning. Now we're green on the session. Took 2 L's, 1 win. Sometimes that's all it takes. That's not always the case.
Yeah, guys, just want to remind you, it's super easy to vote, guys. You get into the chat, you throw in the dollar sign, throw in whatever tick your heart so desires. But if you want, your choice to make it up there, have a look to see which one is leading. You got Lithium America LAC up with 95 right now. Open Door, a perennial runner, at least as of late, 92. CoreWeave tied with Open Door right now with 92. Tesla and Palantir not far behind. In fact, now they're tied. 75 each right now, Tesla and Palantir. The OG Nvidia's got 62 with the other used to be OG Intel with 50. So get in your votes now, guys. Let's get that vote count up and have your say every day. Thank you, Assassino, for reminding us about that. Adara, Apple, the EU, We know that the EU has been targeting multiple American companies. It just hasn't been Apple. It's been Amazon. It's been Microsoft. It's been Meta at times as well, Adara, obviously Google. England has their own regulator. Europe has their own regulator. And they've faced problems with both. What do you make of this story?
I honestly think it's kind of a nothing burger. I understand why they want it repealed. Like, we know the EU is really aggressive when it comes to their, I guess, interest in trying to, crack down on everybody. But I think they've already said they're not going to repeal it. Apple wants them to repeal it. Automatically, they're at a standstill. Point blank period, in my opinion. So I think unless something fundamentally changes, it's not too much of a story in my honest opinion. But with regards to EU regulations, earlier today, we actually just got another one.
Why even?
Shout out to DJ Khaled, I guess. Now they're going after Meta as well, as I mentioned, with regards to Meta apparently not policing some of their content accurately enough or effectively enough. So either way, like, the EU is going to keep going after people. And I think maybe Apple, I'm not trying to say, it's making itself a target or anything, but I think it's odd to kind of go after them in this way when you're not going to get a result. We'll have to wait and see what happens.
Yeah, I agree, Adair, but I don't know, man. I just feel like the European Union is really putting a lot of pressure on these American companies. I was thinking you were going to say this has something to do with the negotiations with your friend Donald there and his European counterpart. What do you think about that?
Pardon?
Were you not able to hear me? Sorry.
I didn't hear.
No worries. I thought you were going to say something along the lines as maybe this forms part of the negotiations between the two countries.
I don't think so.
No, eh?
I honestly don't think so.
But you don't feel Donald's been a little annoyed by this as well? It's not just Apple who's annoyed by it, but President Trump has mentioned it many times as well for his own part, right?
100%. But I think my take on this is, and hear me out, this might be kind of crazy, but I'm just thinking of this now. I think with regards to the U.S. culture of regulatory bodies versus the EU, right? We know the U.S., especially recently, the regulatory bodies have been in a little bit of lockstep with administration. Now, I am not sure, I don't know enough to say either way, but I don't get the impression that this is necessarily the case so much with the EU regulatory body.
Fair.
And I think, this Digital Market Act is still pretty new. I think if there is a real reason to repeal it, then that's all fair and good. But as of right now, I think unless there's hard evidence, unless there's a hard case that Trump and his team present, I really don't think this is going to come up in negotiations. I think if it does, they're not going to get anywhere with it.
Fair enough, Adara. I don't think there's going to be too much done by the European Union, who's sticking to their weapons. Let's just put it that way. Circle considers, this is interesting to me, man.
Yeah.
Circle considers a reversible blockchain transaction possibility here. So Circle, which is the issuer, obviously, of USDC, which is a stable coin pegged to the US dollar, is exploring mechanisms that would actually allow transactions to be rolled back in cases of fraud or hacks while still maintaining what they're calling settlement finality. President Heath Tarbert acknowledged the tension between maintaining, that immutability of the blockchain, but also allowing the reversibility for fraud prevention. Some say they conflict a little bit. This would mark a significant departure from the crypto industry's long-standing reliance on blockchain's permanent and unalterable ledger. The discussions are reportedly taking place among software developers as well as regulators about whether the reversibility should be permitted under limited circumstances. The CEO, formerly the chair, actually, of the U.S. Commodity Futures and Tradings Commission, the UFTC, highlighted that some degree of reversibility for fraud could be beneficial. Just before we go to Adair, Circle currently has about $74 billion in USDC circulation, making it the second largest stablecoin. But the company is also testing a new blockchain called ARC, A-R-C, and it's designed for use by banks, asset managers, financial institutions to kind of facilitate very similar transactions to the one we currently see with financial institutions, but it would be good for cross-border payments as well as FX transactions. We'll get Joey's opinion on this in a second, but we got to go to news for Adara. Adara, feel free to give your opinion on this as well.
Sounds good. I mean, I'll talk here about the news for a bit. I'm not sure if this is why the market is dropping, but I think regardless geopolitical, I will mention it. I've seen over the last couple minutes some articles and reports, including by Bloomberg, suggesting that European diplomats have been warning Russia and the Kremlin that that NATO is ready to respond to further violations of its airspace with full force. That would include shooting down Russian planes. So more animosity here with regards to Russia. That is a geopolitical headline. I have nothing else, though, to explain why this market is dropping. If I have anything else to let you know, but Bitcoin apparently dropping back below 110K now. Back to you.
Go ahead, Joey. What do you think of...
I think it's pretty interesting, right? Because then if that's the case, then what is it all for, essentially? And maybe that's a little bit aggressive and an extreme, but if they're looking to reverse things like fraud, then they're going to be able to look into essentially everything, and if the government doesn't agree to it or whoever, U.S. Circle doesn't agree with the transaction, then they can reverse it. That's not the purpose of cryptocurrency. No. It's peer-to-peer. It's supposed to be a deal between you and I and not have someone else involved in it. Who's to say to regulate if you made a mistake? Again, hacks happen, fraud happens, but this is them getting involved, and that's just one step leading into the direction of, is it really, exactly, and that's what I was just about to say, is it really decentralized at that point if someone's allowed to intervene in the middle of the transaction? So, yeah, that's where I stand.
Before we get Adara's take, because I don't think she chimed in here, doesn't the fact that they're the issuer of USDC and even Tether remove the decentralization aspect of it in and of itself? Like, you know what I mean?
It's just like another bank, essentially.
Almost,
You know what I mean? Because they're the holder of it and everything along those lines. Yeah, no, I totally get what I get what you're saying, but I think it's still just like the peer-to-peer aspect.
I get it
as well too, Randy. That scared me a little bit. I'm not gonna lie. I'm like,
what the hell, Randy?
Yeah, exactly that. I'm like, what? No, yeah, but that's where I stand. It's peer-to-peer, right? You're supposed to eliminate all of the middlemen, and with them getting involved with that, it defeats the purpose.
Yeah, and like, what would be the standard?
Yeah,
I mean, would you have to prove this much evidence to prove that it was a hack or that it was fraud? I mean, like, what's the standard? It becomes a little bit subjective.
It gets extremely more complicated. Guys, we're all out of NVDA as well, to NVDL. For the individual in the chat who was asking, what's the difference between TSLL and NVDL compared to the actual underlyings? Well, they're two times leverage. So for every 1% move in Tesla or NVDA, you get a 2% move in NVDL or TSLL. All right, so there it is. We're all out of it. Really nice trade here. We're not going to complain. We'll take a look at it on the 5-minute, move all the way to the downside. And I'm like, you know what? I'm not even going to hold it on for the rest, and just in case you get that pop. But that was a pretty good trade from red to green on one.
Your boy King Clutch in the chat wants to know what this is. This is the gavel, baby.
Yeah.
Because trading is in session.
Oh,
all right, and it sits right on Trenda's head because Trenda's an idiot.
Hold on, what should we? Someone asked about the 8-ball earlier as well too. What should we ask the 8-ball?
Can we get Adara's take?
Yeah. All right, let's get to that.
All right, Adara, give us the goods here. Circle looking to kind of, you heard us talk about this, make exceptions for fraud or theft there, Adara.
Yeah, I think at what point, like, you know, when you start things, and I hate using the slippery slope argument because I find it to be kind of a dumb rhetoric approach, but I will in this case because I am curious. At what point, like, you know, does it stop being just about fraud or theft? Like, you know, does it at some point become like refunds where you go to the store, you give them your receipt, right? I kind of wonder about that. I also, again, as you guys were saying, like, how do you prove that it was fraud or theft? And B, how do you kind of prove identity as well, right? I have a lot of questions as to how this is going to be carried out. However, the fact that the individual making these comments from Circle was the former chair of the CFTC, that gives me at least, you know, I think a lot of confidence that this is a man that understands the regulations that he's working with and obviously also understands the industry. I think with his pedigree, I'm sure that Circle can figure this out. And again, they haven't committed to this yet. This is something you're thinking about and floating around. So I think makes sense. The stock has not seemed to taken this too much to heart today. I feel like that makes sense. It's something probably still working out and figuring out. But yeah, I mean, from what I understand about crypto, this is, which is, again, as I mentioned, not a ton. This would definitely be a little bit of an upset, right? Like, as you said as well, because they're issuing, you know, these stable coins as well, or USDC. I wonder how that comes into play. I'm not sure if that like goes to the level of being conflict of interest, but it is another thing to think about here.
All right, we're going to skip over Accenture. We're going to go on to Micron, a bit more of an important headline. Micron's been very strong, as we've spoken about as of late. It was up over 100% year to date. It's now about 85, having given back a little bit since its earnings report. But today it's down for another reason here. It's down 3.56, and it could be because of this headline here, Joseph. China's YMTC plans DRAM and AI chip expansion. So Yangtze Memory Technology Company, aka YMTC, which is China's top flash memory chip maker, is actually planning and expanding into DRAM manufacturing, including advanced versions for use in AI servers. This marks a strategic shift as Beijing accelerates efforts to achieve semiconductor self-sufficiency. So you're seeing the U.S. wanting critical mineral self-sufficiency. The Chinese, for their part, they want semiconductor self-sufficiency. Amid, obviously, the growing trade tensions, Washington in December put export controls and restricted China's access to high bandwidth memory, aka, the DRAM. A key component for AI chipsets, obviously, with Chinese tech giants like Huawei and ByteDance all trying to develop their own. There's a shortage right now, at least in China anyway, for high bandwidth memory, which is becoming a bit of an urgent matter there, raising demand for domestic alternatives. So here's the deal. YMTC is developing something called through silicon via TSV packaging technology, which allows DRAM stacking for high bandwidth memory chip production. The company is also considering allocating part of a $2.9 billion facility that they built out in Wuhan for that exact reason. We know globally, high bandwidth memory is dominated essentially by three companies. Micron, which is American, the only one that's making that in America. We got SK Hynix, which is South Korean, and another South Korean company, Samsung. Those really deal with the big players like AMD and NVIDIA. So YMTC's move signals a possible direct competition, Joey, for Micron. Maybe why we're almost down 4% here as it continues to bleed.
Yeah, I mean, like coming out of that earnings report with MU, you get that move, right? All right, guys, I'm really aggressive on this Ethereum trade as well, too. So let's see if we can get a little bit of a move. Micron's a trickier intraday trader, right? I mean, we try to swing trade on this one up here, and then we get stopped out, and then it goes on this just absolute monster move from literally the first day of August. Oops, let's see here. Come on, you can do it. No, why you gotta be like that? Okay, so there it is, right? So you go up 65% from the first day of August. And then now you're starting to pull back a little bit as well, too. I'm going to be looking for the continuation in some of these names. Guidance was good. Other than that, just keep an eye out on it. It's not too bad of a stock. It's just a little bit trickier to trade, and you have to remember that, especially from an intraday perspective as well, too. Significantly more difficult. So yeah, keep your eyes out on that one. I got a little bit more here in Ethereum, but now we've covered the majority of this wick. It's essentially the exact same thesis as the NVDL trade, right? But on the inverse side. So you have the aggressive selling, and then now you have this isolated volume print, and then a hammer candle as well too. So we're gonna look for these levels to hold. If it cracks that low, then we're gonna have to hop out of that trade. And there's gonna be some more downside in the crypto space. It's not looking good whatsoever. I made a post on X as well too last week saying, hey, are we going to be heading into a crypto winter? You can go back and check. That was a couple weeks ago, Shreve.
No, you did.
Especially after the after that rate cut. Right after that rate cut, we didn't get the pop that we were looking for, and instead you get the inverse. Now we filled the majority of this wick, so keep an eye out for an additional new low. And it's unfortunate because I was red, went to green, and then now I'm going to be aggressively red again, considering how much size I put on this trade here. Why I don't know why I did that. Kind of frustrated at myself, considering how weak the space is.
Adira, it wasn't just semiconductors that Washington was restricting advanced AI semiconductors to Washington. It was all the inputs like high bandwidth memory. What do you make of this?
Yeah, I continue to think it makes sense that China will be making their own product. I mean, if they don't have access to a product, what do you expect China to just stop innovating at all? And I think this goes to something Jensen Huang has really said. People are underestimating China if they think China's just going to lay over and hide under a rock because they don't have access to these American chips. That makes no sense. And so I have to agree with Jensen on this. With that in mind, with regards to this conversation as well, again, it makes sense. If they can't get access to Micron's products, they're going to have their own alternative. Now, it is odd that Micron's trading lower on this again because there's already going to be issues with having the products from the U.S. and this chip space sent to China. So it's like, who are you really competing with at this point unless things change? But either way, I think it makes a lot of sense. And again, Jensen, people need to listen to you. You have solid points. China is not going to I guess we don't have any AI now. I guess we
Let's shut it down, Adara.
Right?
We're giving up.
What are people thinking?
Yeah.
They're obviously still going to innovate, and then they're going to use their own tech and not American tech. So I actually believe that this restrictive kind of policy is only hurting both countries.
You're not wrong. Certainly, you want to keep everybody dependent on your own, on your technology. But we're hitting 1, we're hitting 2, we're hitting 3, and we're hitting $4 freaking dollars in the money he left. He wanted me to hype it up, then he's gone. Shout out to the Katina man who's printing on a $4 short right now on Micron. Very apropos because we were talking right about it right now. Let's talk about Google backing Cypher Mining with a 10-year AI hosting deal. So your friends Google there, Joey, throwing their hat into the mining ring. They're going to take a 5.4% equity stake in Cypher Mining. Ticker for that is CIFR. Through a deal involving warrants for about 24 million shares. Shout out to the OG Darwin, who loves his warrants in the chat. Cypher, CFIR, was up bigly in the pre-market to the tune of, at least at the time of the writing of this article, was up 11%. Now it makes sense, Joey. It's down 14 and 2/3%. Everything makes absolute sense. Google invests in your stock, you go down 14%. The deal is part of a 10-year HPC high performance compute hosting agreement with the AI cloud platform Fluidstack. Google is going to backstop about $1.4 billion in lease obligations to support the project-related debt financing. The deal is also expected to generate about $3 billion in revenue for Cypher over 10 years, with 2 5-year extensions potentially pushing that figure up to 10. Cypher is also going to deliver 168 megawatts of IT load at its Barber Lake site in Colorado City, Texas, expected to be completed in about a year, September 2026. Joey, you very aptly referred to Google yesterday as the mega cap, the Mag 7 ETF, because of how many different industries, how many different hands cookie jars they have their hand in.
Yeah, absolutely.
And here's another one, mining.
Okay, so I mean, that's a really big time move there in Google. We'll take a look at the technicals. I apologize, guys. I'm super hyper focused on this trade here. I'm heavy. We'll take a look at Google for a second, and this is what I'm talking about. I think this is a fantastic name. This is the run that you've been on from April, and it was lagging. We had the likes of some of the bigger names putting in some all-time highs, and it wasn't participating. Boom, antitrust lifted off its shoulder, off to the races. Now it's adding a little bit more to its basket of funds, and this thing is absolutely phenomenal. We love Google, and surprisingly so, I got out of it in my long term. That's a big mistake. That's a learning opportunity right there. You learn from that lesson, because I've mentioned this before. With these hyperscalers and the amount of free cash flow that these companies have, the Mag 7, it's nearly impossible. Yes, I know, Katina, man. It's nearly impossible for them to lose.
Yeah, I know. It's all good, bud. All right, let's go to Adara and see. Adara, what's your opinion on the Cypher? I'd expect a headline where Google is going to throw some money your way to result in you being down almost 15% on the day now, Adara.
It's rough. I mean, they gapped up, but I think the thing, too, is these names have a lot of hype. Now, you guys might not realize this, which I unfortunately do because I spend a lot of time on the man's Twitter, but Eric Jackson, hedge fund manager, EMJ Capital and Open Door, he is also in Cypher, and he's been really hyping Cypher, obviously not to the same extent, and also IREN or IREN, it's kind of in a similar field. Now, we spoke a little bit about this yesterday, I believe, with regards to Riot platforms, but here's the thing, these miners do have an AI connection as well. I think it makes sense. So the deal, to me, makes sense. You never know how the market's going to react to things. I think right now it looks like this was a pop and fade. Maybe it'll pop back again tomorrow, but you have to remember, too, these names have been really hot lately. Again, I want to talk about IREN yesterday. I want to talk about Riot. Now, CIFR has not benefited as much as the other names in the sector, mind you, but it still is within a sector that's been relatively hot as of late. The whole market dropped, too, especially with crypto. And again, these miners do have crypto connections. So Sharif, I think it's less down on the Google news specifically and more just it needs a breather. But
Fair.
It is good news, as you said, and I think this sector is great. I want to see, A, if it can recover, which I suspect it can, and B, I want to see what miner is next to get because I don't think this is the end.
No, I have to agree with that, Adara. I feel like there may be some industry consolidation there with the miners. We'll have to wait and see. Good call on that. Let's go on to the next topic, Adara. Oklo advances their fuel assembly testing gains, and Goldman gives them the nod. Let's start with the first one, the fuel assembly testing. So Oklo completed what they're calling a full-scale flow testing of a prototype fuel assembly at the U.S. Department of Energy's Argonne National Laboratory. The test measured the parameters such as a pressure drop and the coolant flow distribution. Really what it did is prove real-world benchmarks against Oklo's simulations on the computer. The test marks a step towards commercial grade or commercial scale reactor deployment, validating the designs that they have, as well as the durability and the efficiency of such designs under multiple operating conditions. That's the technical side of the headline. Now, Goldman also gave them the nod. They actually initiated coverage, not gave them the nod. They have a neutral rating, but they have a $117 price target. What's Oklo trading at right now? So kind of a backhanded, price target. We're at 116.35, so not much of a move. Analysts cited Oklo's Aurora powerhouse, which is a sodium-cooled fast fission small modular reactor, as a key project that they're excited about, with commercialization targets for that, looking for late 2027, early 2028. Oklo's own and operator model as well offers what they're saying greater control as well as a recurring revenue potential, but it also raises the financial risk and the high capital intensity nature of the business, Joey. So SMRs, something that your boy Doug Ford, the premier of this province, very gung-ho on, and they're building up a storm, Joey, in the north with these SMRs. So
I think it's the way of the future as well too. It's funny. I was watching a little bit on CNBC last night, and just some of the energy that it's going to be required to build some of these the data centers is crazy. 100%. So 1 gigawatt can fuel about 750,000 homes, and they're going to be building things that are going to be using double or 10 times that amount. So like 7.5 million homes, like the size of New York, to like triple the size of Toronto and everything along those lines. So yeah, it's some big time stuff there, Shreve.
And you remember the headline we were talking about yesterday with OpenAI and and
that's
NVIDIA.
They're like literally using the power of 750,000 homes.
It's insane, Joey. 1 gigawatt, you get $1 billion. He's going to add 10 gigawatts, and that's not even the Stargate. That's just the NVIDIA.
Yeah, the amount of energy that's going to be used is insane. Insane.
Adara, Oklo is one that you know quite well. We've been talking about nuclear power now for a while, essentially since the whole AI trade started. Your friend Altman was involved in this one as well. What's your take?
Yeah, my take on this is, you said backhanded upgrade. I cannot agree more. Like, I was reading through that and I was like, this is painful. I think the thing is too, this one, much like a lot of other names, and I think this is kind of called out by Goldman Sachs, is this, nuclear plays, much like the quantum plays, it's really a race. Who's going to do it first? Who's going to get there first? And what horse do you back? So with that in mind, you really have to make sure they're continuously kind of evolving. The vibe I got from reading the Goldman letter this morning was that they don't really necessarily, not that they don't agree with where Oklo is focusing, but they're not really sure that it's the most competitive area. Again, as somebody who doesn't know about the field or as much about the field, I'm just going to take the analyst note at face value and the vibe. Oh, my mic fell, sorry. But
yeah, no, mine's moving too. All right, I will let Adara do her. Okay, thank you, Adara. Let's talk about CarMax, KMX, a competitor for Carvana, CVNA. It missed Q2 estimates and shares slid. Let's find out where they're at right now because they were decidedly red. Oh, God, they're down 20%. All right, before we go and cover this ad nauseum, Adara has news at the big desk.
It involves Oracle and the TikTok deal. Keep an eye on ORCL. Oracle, Silver Lake, and MGX are set to be the main investors in the TikTok US deal. They have a combined 45% ownership. I'm not clear how that ownership stake is split, so I'm not sure if it's even or if people are getting more. But either way, CNBC reporting that Oracle, Silver Lake, MGX are the three main investors in TikTok, combined 45% ownership of the new TikTok US entity.
Hey, let's go on to CarMax right now. So they reported Q2 revenue of about $6.6 billion, a little bit less. That was down about 6% year over year, missing the consensus estimate by about $430 million. So almost $500 million there they missed by. Management cited what they're calling a challenging quarter with softness in both retail and wholesale operations weighing on their results. Let's talk about that retail weakness before we get into the wholesale. They're saying total retail used vehicle units sales declined 5.4% year over year. They sold just shy of 200,000 cars, 729,000 units. Comparable stores used sale units also fell 6.3%. So comparable sales typically refer to stores that have been open for a year or longer and how they've done year over year. So that dropped 6.3% year over year, driving the total retail used vehicle revenue down 7.2%. Retail used vehicles gross profit per unit slipped. Again, 7.6%. So not only are they selling less cars, but they're making less money per vehicle, with the average profit per vehicle being about $2,200, $2,216, which is basically flat versus last year. That's the retail business. Let's talk about the wholesale and what's going on there. Well, wholesale vehicle unit sales dropped 2.2% year over year. They're selling less vehicles in wholesale than they are in retail, but not by that much. 138,302 vehicles sold wholesale channel through the wholesale channel. Their revenues for wholesale also declined 0.4% year over year, though higher selling prices, which is about $125 more per vehicle in the wholesale channel, did offset it a little bit. Gross profit for wholesale vehicles also fell 0.4%. That means they're spending more money somewhere because they're making more per vehicle. So their gross profit should be going up unless their costs on the other side of the equation are also increasing. They opened 3 new locations in Q2. They've got no formal full-year guidance issued, but management did emphasize that they're really trying to cost cut as well as target about $150 million in some reductions over the next 18 months. So, Joey, the market made this company pay and pay through the nose. Through missing, they're down 20%.
Yeah, tough look. I'm gonna get you to send it over to Adara.
Absolutely, Joey. Adara, this is a tough look. You never really want to celebrate when anybody misses, but we've seen Vana take a different path, Adara. Why is KM or CarMax? I'm not putting you to this, but what the hell is the difference? What's going on with this company?
I mean, maybe people really like buying them out of the vending machine.
Oh.
But all jokes aside, I had to make that joke. I thought of it before you even asked me that, and it was a great segue. But either way, I think what's really staggering is on your notes here, it says the shares are down 6.2% pre-market. As you mentioned, they are now down well more than 6.2% pre-market, right? So I think that's usually when you get, at least from what I've seen, especially on earnings, if you get this big of a move day one, it might not bounce right away. So just be aware of that. I think I would say be patient with this, but follow your rules if this is something you are long in. With regards to the numbers, I mean, Sharif, it's hard to, you can't really get much worse than this.
No.
This is like giving me I don't think KB Homes is on there because they weren't on the watch list. There wasn't much volume. KB Homes reported last night, and much like what you're seeing here with CarMax, year-over-year decline, year-over-year decline, year-over-year decline. And that KB Homes still also actually had an EPS and a revenue beat, which KMX did not manage here. So it's a rough look, and 3 new locations in Q2. I don't know how that compares to estimates. I don't know if that's a brag, but it seems like even that being in the report just seems like the company hey, we did something this quarter. It's a rough look, and again, we don't want to disparage anything. Best of luck to anybody who's in this trade.
Adara, let me ask you, what do you think interest rates does here? Do you think I'll throw it out there. Before I sold my car, Adara, I had a high interest rate because I bought that bad boy in 23 when the rates were high. Rates have come down, and if you look at new car sales now or even used cars, they're significantly lower, the interest rate for the loans, significantly lower than they were in 23. Does the rate cutting cycle that we may get, we're not even getting, we got one measly 25 bips, I don't want to exaggerate it, but if we get some more cuts this year, do you think this moves the needle as people may want to take on bigger purchases at lower rates?
I I mean,
you know what I'm saying?
Well, I would think if they thought that they'd put it in their guidance. Do you know
That's
what
fair.
I mean?
That's fair.
So the fact they didn't mention that, either they're being coy, which I never have an issue with a business being coy. I have much bigger issues with people having extravagant guidance, Oracle, than, you know, if you're a little bit coy with it. So I don't know. We're going to have to wait and find out what happens there, Sharif. But that is a good point. And again, it's a point that I wonder if CarMax is considering, and they've got that up their sleeve a little bit. But then again, you're right, they still do have competition. They have competition with Carvana, with a whole bunch of other industries.
Yeah,
you know,
private sellers are there. There's so many.
Anybody can sell their car anywhere now. So I wonder, I don't want to say this business model is dead because Carvana is still there with their little vending machines, but it is an industry. Maybe you're right, CarMax has to find a different way of operating.
Fair enough. Thank you, Adara, for chiming in. Let's go on to Lithium America. So LAC is the darling of the last few days anyway. I just loaded up the options. Joey, options would be happy with that one. Lithium America still up a nice 16%, really bucking the trend today for the overall market. So let's talk about what's going on with LAC. There's not a whole lot different than what we talked about yesterday. Now we're hearing more of a desire by the current administration to take an ownership stake as opposed to just, you know, this loan that's outstanding. So President Donald Trump's administration, we're gonna pause for a second because I just heard Adara has breaking news at the big desk.
You're gonna like this one, Sharif. So there is a reporter here, the New York Post reporter, saying that a White House official has told her that we, quote, shouldn't expect Elon in the Oval Office anytime soon. TSLA is, as you can see, got a spike to the downside in this. Again, Elon Musk maybe not welcome in the White House quite yet, is the vibe I get from this. If I get any more context, I'll let you know. It's literally just a tweet. There's no article. But either way, interesting stuff. We'll have to see if Elon's White House future is as bleak as this makes it seem. Back to you.
Weasel back in because at the Charlie Kirk Memorial, do you know that people got lip readers to see
really?
What your friend Donald, President Donald?
I can try this.
Yeah. And look, it's never verified, so I don't want to parrot it back, but I'm sure you're going to do your homework on this.
I'll probably try to read their lips myself.
Yeah, because I know that you're actually quite good at that.
I'm a pretty good lip reader.
Yeah, so apparently it was one person who wanted a meeting with the other. I'll just say it as that.
Okay, I'm going to guess who's who there.
There you go. Thank you, dear. All right, let's go on. The Trump administration is in talks to take another stake in Lithium Americas, which seeks a $2.26 billion government loan for its Nevada lithium mining project. The department, or the Energy Department, is reviewing the condition precedent to protect the taxpayers from what they're calling potentially, getting into bad deals. So they want stricter terms or buy commitments either from General Motors or others to buy Lithium Americas, you guessed it, lithium. Officials have voiced concerns over the viability of the project. I'll get to that project in a second. And the potential risk for U.S. funds flowing into a volatile lithium market, especially since it's been dominated by the Chinese. And we know from past history, the Chinese have no qualms about dumping lithium to reduce the price and, I don't want to say it, but possibly manipulate the markets. So what we're talking about here in Nevada is a project called the Thacker Pass project. And it's known to be the largest lithium deposit in the U.S., which it was really, this whole project started under the previous Biden administration, which supported the project. GM, for their part in this whole thing, they're committing $949 million to bring the project online. But GM is under a lot of pressure here. They're under pressure to maintain their commitments as the exclusive lithium offtake partner while navigate fewer federal terms. So what does that mean? It means that the conditions precedent, at least for GM, could include a take or pay agreement, meaning that they would be obligated to buy the lithium from Lithium America. GM would be obligated to buy the lithium from LAC regardless of the market need, which adds risk to GM, but ensures steady income for LAC. Possibly hurts one and benefits the other. Without finalizing the loan, though, the Trump administration soon, LAC could risk halting construction for the Thacker Pass project and furlough, sadly, about 800 workers that are at the Nevada site right now, Joey. So this is one we've been talking about for a while. I know that domestic production, super important to this administration. But they seem to be putting in, conditions, Joey. They're not willing to throw in the money without some guarantees.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this thing caught a downgrade this morning as well, too, Lithium Americas, which I find a little bit comical. It was up 20% at the time that I was constructing the upgrades and downgrades. And yeah, there it goes, right? So a big time move. You open up around $3, and then you just get this massive move all the way up to $7.52. So yeah, that's a big time move, 140%, 143.3% on the day, and continuing to climb. It is getting a little bit of a pullback from from an intraday standpoint, but this was all the move was made in the pre-market right there. A little bit of sideways price action.
Understood, Joey. Thank you for that. Adara, Thacker Pass project, Lithium America, $2.25 billion, 945 from GM. What's your take on this whole thing?
Yeah, I mean, the point that you made that I was kind of thinking of as you were reading the story, and then you said it, but I'll echo it. It is fascinating, given their focus on U.S. manufacturing, and to quote or slightly paraphrase Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick, having the people build the phones with their hands or whatever. Like, given how focused they are on manufacturing locally, it's odd that you wouldn't be prioritizing projects like this, right? But then the other way you think about it is all of the companies they've invested in, specifically, we'll talk here about the most recent ones, Intel, and then this Lithium America situation. They're both focused on, again, as we said, U.S. manufacturing, U.S. jobs, Intel trying to build those foundries. So I think that investing in these companies, even if you're like, okay, they're not going to give them money, whatever, we'll put that aside for a second. They're trying to invest in these companies so they can have more jobs for Americans. So that I do think is in line with what they're trying to do. Now, what I find a little bit confusing, you actually show my screen here. It's a fun little infographic featuring Trump, and the background of that is actually Thacker Pass. It's a Thacker Pass photo from their website, so that's the pass if you guys want to see it. But yeah, what I find a bit confusing here is that we're seeing, I believe it was Kevin Hassett this morning and other members of the Trump administration have said this before, that the reasoning for these deals is national security. Now, I don't know about that. I think if you're going to make the argument that it's more, much like the tariffs, you're going to make the argument it's more about keeping things in-house, that I'm going to buy a little bit more than national security. Either way, I mean, good luck for the stock. Lithium Americas really is can't stop, won't stop. I did not expect this to keep going.
You know what? It sounds a little silly to say national security. It's like, well, you know what?
It seems dramatic, yeah.
Here's how I see it, though. If we're going to make if the military is going to be built out, to me, Adara, like going into the future, a lot of it's going to be based on AI. If it's going to be based on AI, then it's going to be based on computers. And lithium obviously has a lot to do with that, as well as many other critical metals. So to me, yeah, maybe not right now, because I don't think electric vehicles is national security. At least that's not the way I see it. But I think going into the future, kind of like, you know what, can I say something to you? Remember when we couldn't find PPE for the life of us here during the pandemic? Like getting your hands on a mask or hand sanitizer or alcohol was like unbelievably hard because we weren't producing anything here, Adara. And I think that woke us up to, the dependency that we have on other countries. And I don't think that they want to taste that kind of, go through that again.
That logic makes sense. I can buy that.
Doug had to get all those individuals for price gouging as well, too.
Yeah, do you remember that?
Yeah. He's like, you guys can't just be marking everything up. Because
your friend, you know what? I was so angry during the pandemic that people were selling like 45 plates for like $300 a plate when it's $1 a pound max, usually even less. I was so angry. I went to call.
Oh,
the weights.
The
Joey,
weights.
they shut down the gyms, bro. So everybody was trying to get their hands on home equipment.
I remember
and
that.
everybody, you were selling the Bowflex dumbbells, the 50-pound ones, for like $2,000. You know what I mean?
I
wanted
was
to
lucky.
fight everybody.
I was lucky to get my my station for like $150 off of Amazon.
Did you get it before the
bro,
pandemic?
it was like just during,
That's
like slightly
crazy.
after, and then I bought a bunch of plates as well too from a buddy from work, and I got a half decent, but he was still charging me a couple bucks a pound.
That's
I'm like,
okay.
Man,
Well,
I'm like,
a couple bucks a pound was a lot better than what I was seeing at that time.
Yeah,
brother.
exactly, absolutely.
I got concrete weights. I still have them, yeah. I got 4 45s and 2 25s, all concrete. They were great.
I had 2 45s, and then I had a bunch of the adjustables, like 10s, 5s, and so on. So.
All right, guys, I just want to let you know that we have a new type of watch list, and if you're interested in it, there's an email that got sent out to you yesterday. It's not spam. It just has a click yes or no. So if you're interested in the kind of this research note that we're using every day while we're doing the news, go ahead, check your email. It may be in spam, it may be in advertisements or wherever, depending on what platform you're using. So this is kind of what it looks like. Each page has its own summary dedicated to the news story. So this one is Intel, and the entire thing is for Intel. And you're going to have here support and resistance levels at the top. I'll give you 3 support levels, 3 resistance levels. You'll have basically the summary of the story at the top. You'll have more nuanced explanation at the bottom and in the middle, and then at the bottom you're going to have your trader takeaway. The trader takeaway kind of just gives you what to look for in the future with respect to this name if you want to invest or trade it. So go ahead, check your email if you like this kind of setup. It's a bit more lengthy, so you can kind of just not just take in the entire article or just a paragraph that's somewhere in between. Go ahead and check your email, and yeah, click that like button if you're interested in that sort of thing. Joey, it is now 2 o'clock though. The big kahunas are back. We've got Randy in Sean's seat, but Neil is there, so that's good enough for me that Randy is there, but he's sitting in front of a black screen. I don't know if he's going to be punching into positions, but Neil's with him, so send him off, Joey Options.
All right, guys, have a good one. I hope everyone enjoys their evening. It's Thursday. Tomorrow's Friday.
Take care, guys. We'll see you guys Friday, same bat time, same bat channel.
It's Thursday? And nobody told me it was Thursday. I didn't even have my mic on just